Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. You know what time it is. Happy Hump Day to all of you. I missed you all Saturday. Thank you all for being patient with me. I wasn't feeling too hot on Saturday, but I'm in a very good place today. Matter of fact, been up cooking dinner, doing a bunch of other stuff, and I'm glad to be speaking with all of you today. So as per usual, just a couple of things before we get started. Make sure, fam, to hit the thumbs, share this one, right? You got social media like I do. If you want people to hear what we're talking about, make sure to let them know we're talking about it, okay? Also, too, make sure to check the description field. There's links in the description field for reports, all sorts of materials, all sorts of good stuff there to help you to understand some of why I do what I do, why we should be doing what I do, and so on and so forth. And if you haven't done so, consider supporting my work, right? Hit the super chat if you have something you absolutely want me to address. Join my Patreon. Again, I'm asking you to put $5 on it, but it's really at your discretion. There's no set amount. It's one time per month, and it just helps me to do what it is I do for you, right? If you feel that what I do is worthy, right? Make sure to consider doing that because it's definitely appreciated, definitely helpful. So before we go ahead and get started, let me shout out Darker Visions. Darker Visions is on the road. Be safe, fam. Shout out to Miss Denny. Namaste to Brother John. Peace to my brother Noel. Great conversation today, by the way, fam. Peace, Sister Alexis. Cool Unc. Peace. I see you, fam. Happy Hump Day to you. Sister Constance is in the house. Good evening, sister, and peace to you. If you're new to the channel or you're just unfamiliar with how we do things, when you arrive, you don't have to participate in the chat or whatever. Just pop your name in there so we can show you some love and shout you out, right? Let you know, let us know you're here. Okay. So fam, I want to do a little truth telling today, if I may. Now, I'm not juxtaposing that as to my usual lies, right? I'm not saying I don't tell the truth, but I will say that I have a tendency, and it's really truly, fam, based off of the fact that I am an intellectual at heart, right? I always try to look at multiple points of view on things. I try to examine things from a broad perspective, right? Not just what I think, but what other people think, what information is there, so on and so forth. So with that in mind, I tend to be a little bit diplomatic at times, right? I won't necessarily assume malice, or I won't assume bad actorship in most of my engagements with folk, right? I understand that people have their own points of view, their own understandings on things, and I try as best as I can to be respectful of those points of view, right? And so when I engage with folk, you see that reflected in my willingness to allow for people to comment freely on various topics, share what they think is salient and so on and so forth. And I am never going to not do that, right? By the way, shout out to my beloved sister Taj, and also to beloved sister Toolbox. Shout out to Jesus or Jesus Price. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I think it's Jesus, but But fam, there are times when diplomacy is just unwarranted. There are times, fam, when sometimes the cold, hard truth of matters just needs to be discussed. So today, your brother and one who loves you, thank you, Jesus, is going to tell the truth. Fuck diplomacy. Before I do that, though, I have an apology to make. You see, fam, nobody who watches my work will tell you that I am not a person that adheres to, yes, Taj, please do. As a matter of fact, Taj, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I've already started working on making that trend. So please, absolutely, you have permission always to post any actions, any moves, anything you want. So, fam, my apology is this. I apologize because I haven't always, let me make sure I word this properly. No diplomacy. Just want to make sure I give you the straight dope. I apologize because I have not always believed that there were things that I spoke about that you couldn't get, that you couldn't understand, right? It's funny. I assume that if you're listening to me, and I'm very grateful, by the way, for each and every last one of you, that you will be able to grasp what it is that I'm saying, right? That you'll be able to pick up what I'm putting down. I've never made the assumption that you can't get it. And so there were things that I spoke on or things that I talked about that I just sort of assumed went without saying. For example, we talk a lot on this channel because that's my normal way. And I think it's a way for us to be able to get things done. We talk a lot about information here, about data. Shalom, by the way, beloved Sister August. Welcome to the broadcast. A happy hump day to you. But there's something that's important to note in any discussion of data that I assumed, fam, that you got. I just assumed that it went without saying, that you understood this. Data is important. But what's more important than the information, than the data, is one's analysis and interpretation of that data. And again, I ask your forgiveness for not just mentioning that openly, for not stating that every time I gave a data point, any information. I thought that it was clear that interpretation and analysis of the data is just as important as the information you might get. Peace to my esteemed brother CRU, Brother Ray. I see you, fam, and welcome to the broadcast. Now, why am I apologizing to you, right? You're probably thinking, Brother Black, that's not that big a deal, fam. Like, you don't have to apologize to us for that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Because my irresponsibility in stressing that has allowed there to be openings for flat out fallacious bullshit to creep in. It has allowed for us to look at some ideas as more valid than they actually are. And so I apologize. By the way, shout out to Soul, esteemed family. Welcome. Glad to have you. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to tell you another truth that you're probably not wanting to hear, but as I said, today is the day of telling the truth, right? Truth be told. Truth be told, fam, for all of our emphasis on information, on the data surrounding our circumstances, our heritage, our lineage, our history, nobody in the main gives a fuck about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that information isn't important. It is. It is. And for those of us who are driven by the need to know, that information is super, super important. It's key, as a matter of fact, to any activation, any activism that we may participate in. But the vast majority of us don't give a fuck about the data. They don't care. They don't care. And I would argue that overemphasizing information is doing us a disservice. I'll give you a case in point. By the way, shout out to Engaging Black. I see you, fam. Welcome. Engaging Black said, no, they don't because of ignorance. No, not at all. Has nothing to do with ignorance. I I am beyond tired of people thinking that black people don't know shit, that we don't understand anything. No, I refuse to talk down to my people because I believe that we understand more than anybody will ever accept that we understand. We understand things on a level beyond any of our fellow citizens. I believe right now in the ghetto, there are brothers and sisters that didn't graduate from high school that can make a more cogent political analysis and understanding of how this country works than people who have got a degree in fucking poli-sci. No, it's not because of ignorance. The reason why they don't give a fuck is because people aren't driven by information. They're driven by feelings. Now, we can sit here and shit on people. We can say, well, fuck your feelings, because I know I've done it, right? I've done it. I've said, the facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. And that's true. But the thing is that truth, that fact doesn't mean shit to somebody who feels a certain way. So here we are, broadcast after broadcast, discussion after discussion, circling around the drain of data point after data point after data point, throwing charts at people and links to reports and this, that, and the third. All of which I think are perfectly fine things to do. And that is all that gets done. Because where people are don't have nothing to do with the motherfucking information. It don't have nothing to do with it. See, information is useless without interpretation, without analysis. But what often happens, fam, is that rather than the information being the driver of action, the information becomes the foundation of ideology. Now, what the fuck do I mean by that? Don't worry, we're going to get to it. In an ideal situation, shout out to my brother Rob. Peace, good brother, to you as well. Happy Hump Day. In an ideal situation, fam, in the ideal discourse, right, civil discourse among us as tribes people, we should be able to simply just convey information from one person to the next and expect a change in behavior based off of that information. Ideally, that is what's supposed to happen. However, it doesn't, because it denies the essential fact that information often drives ideology rather than action. In our political arena that we've been engaged in, some of us now for well over year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, however long you've been engaged in this political advocacy for our people, you have seen repeatedly, where information is introduced only for people to cleave even harder to their old positions. You've watched debate after debate after debate with facts ad nauseum. And when all of that is done, everybody walks away still thinking the same motherfucking way they did when they stepped to the discussion. Everybody. because we refuse to accept the fact that ideology drives the car. Ideology is a system or a structure of ideas, right? That one sees the world through or conducts their actions based off of, right? An ideology is designed to systematize, if you will, the sometimes chaotic nature of discourse. Ideology has its purposes, but ideology can also be toxic. Ideology can be toxic. You think I'm kidding? You have existing among us right now the tale of two tribes. Because remember, fam, the data, as important as it is not as important as the story, the narrative, the ideology that builds up around that information. And right now, what you see in this so-called political space is you see and you are listening to the tale of two tribes. And the worst part about it is that these are two different narratives told about the same group of individuals. Who is that group of individuals? You and me. Us. On one hand, you have a story that says that we are the descendants of, stand in the shoes of, walk in the stead of the baddest motherfuckers that ever set foot on this continent. That in spite of every attempt to dehumanize them, to use them, to break them, they not only persevered, but they overcame. And with each new generation born, this people had hope, right? This people had optimism that they would finally break through all of the barriers that have kept them from enjoying the fullness of their humanity in the nation of which they are citizens. That's one story. That's one narrative. Then you have another narrative, another story. Starts off very similarly. That we descend from a people who were brought to the shores of this nation and were put through the worst crucible of human brutality known to man. Their struggles and their efforts to just be alive were damn nearly insurmountable. And every generation that came thereafter were singularly lucky to even be here in the first place. And the descendants that are alive today are the bearers of absolute devastation, denigration, destruction, and short of a miracle, they will find themselves shuffled off of the world stage more sooner than later. Peace, Sister Tiffany and Brother Kelvin. Welcome to the broadcast. That's another narrative. That's another story. Let's tell some truth. Because the truth oftentimes, just like always, isn't this story and it isn't this story. It's somewhere in the middle. And I'm not saying that to be a centrist. I'm saying that because it's the truth. We do come from a mighty people. We descend from the enslaved here in the United States, and they were some bad motherfuckers. But they suffered horribly. And if it were not for the fact that we continued to remain of some utility to the United States, there's not many times in this country where it would have been a distinct possibility that we would have been wiped out, that we'd have been sent away, gone from here, whether repatriated back to Africa or in a genocide. We have come from nothing, and we are here. We are something. But we share some problems, some struggles that were not of our making. We were born into them. That's truth. We are both mighty and a little bit busted too. We're both mighty with some motherfucking issues. Shout out to beloved Sister Joan, by the way. Welcome to the broadcast. Do you see, family, why I tell you to beware of false dichotomies? Beware of anybody who will take a whole world full of stories, a whole world full of options, a whole world full of anything and distill it for you only down to two things. Either or. You're either this or you're that. Anybody who does that does not mean you well. I don't care what else the rhetoric says to you. We are a people of nearly 40 million people with as many different ways of understanding the world and seeing things and experiencing our lineage, our heritage in this country, that you could spend the rest of your life trying to learn about them all. And you'll never exhaust it. So how the fuck does anybody get to tell us you're either this or you're that? Where did they get off? Where did they tell you that this is the only way to get shit done? And you're either going to do this or you're doing that. Shout out to my esteemed brother Double C. Welcome, fam, to the broadcast. Happy Hump Day to you. Recently, there was the announcement of the creation of a PAC. Now, as many of you know, I have been a long advocate for the need for us to create a PAC, specifically a super PAC, for reasons I've elaborated on and I won't go into here on this video. I've laid out entire arguments as to why a super PAC would be something, regardless of where we are politically right now, that would just be an absolute must, an absolute necessity. These individuals have been involved in advocacy for you and I and for themselves. They have been a part of chapters as far as I was able to tell, although I don't think they currently cleave to an ADOS chapter. Thank you, Sister Shar. Love you, sister. Welcome to the broadcast. Sister Alma's in the house. Peace. Welcome to the broadcast. I will, brother. Thank you so much. These individuals took some advice from some leading figures amongst our political push, our political advocacy, i.e., Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. And that advice is as follows. You go do it. I remember watching a broadcast with Yvette, and all of these people were asking, Yvette, why don't you talk about this? Or why don't you, encourage that? Or why don't you engage with this? And Yvette looked right into the camera and she said, me? Why don't you do it? Really? I mean, fam, for somebody who esteems Yvette Carnell so well, especially as much as I have,
diplomacy is dead.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Ms. Dini. I really do appreciate it. To hear that from her was like hitting the ignition switch on the rocket ship that is my advocacy. I kid you not, fam. I kid you not. By the way, shout out to my beloved brother LaShawn and the brother Craig. I see you, fam. Welcome and peace to you. That shit literally lit a fire in me. You mean to tell me that I don't have to wait until Yvette or Tone say to go do it to get something done? Oh man, the brainstorming, the ideas, fam, flowed like rivulets through my mind. Fam, it was a new fucking day. And so many of us, myself included, did just that. We didn't wait for her to engage it. We didn't wait for Antonio to say, yeah, that's a great idea. I approve. We jumped on board with what we thought would be the most effective and best advocacy for our people, and we ran with that shit. We've invested time. We've invested money. We've invested labor. We've invested our thought processes, right? Our intellectual property, and so on and so forth. There were people who went out who never organized a damn thing in their life, who would have trouble putting together a grocery list, who now had chapters filled with people that they organize. The shit's amazing. It's beautiful. With the exception of one key issue. You see, fam, we did not understand. We did not really, truly understand what she meant by you do it. We didn't get it. See, we heard that. The majority of us who heard that, right, who engaged with that, and we saw that as you go out there and you put forth the effort and you engage and you do this and we got you. We'll back you. That's what we heard. I can't speak for you, but that's what I heard. I heard you go do it how you do it. You put in the effort. You put in the work. You make it happen and we got you. That's what we heard. And I'm here to tell you, you misunderstood. You didn't catch what really was said. Because what you do it actually means is that you go put forth the effort. You go put in the work. You invest your time. You invest your money. You invest everything. And if I don't co-sign it, you don't have to worry about a lick of support coming from us. Oh, yes. That was truly what was meant. If you don't believe me, fam, take a look with your own eyes. Until the chapters became a fait accompli, right? Until essentially the organization of ADOS chapters across the nation had become a thing that was done already. They didn't really have much to say on it. And even when it did, they only kind of half-heartedly embraced the whole chapter thing. Every single person who is not Yvette and Antonio, who have decided to do something, to invest something, to put up something, to actually try to produce this engine of advocacy that we need. Every single one of them has had their character maligned, has had resources denied them, has had access denied them, and has basically been told that they are persona non grata. They've been called grifters. They've been called vultures. They've been told that they didn't invest X number of dollars to actually create a legitimate registered nonprofit organization, or to put together an investment to get some merchandise or something like that done so that they could be a better advocate for their people. They were told that they're only out here to try to eat off of a people that are already so broke that we can't afford to feed nobody. Because remember, the tale of two tribes. Their narrative is that due to massive accrued disadvantage, that we simply have no capability or means whatsoever to do anything. If you want to try to do something to better not just your position as an individual, right? Not just your position as a Black person, a descendant of our enslaved ancestors in society, but God forbid should want to do something to better the position of others, woe betide you. Especially if it's an idea that they did not come up with, that they don't agree with, that they don't like. So these individuals that began this pack, and by the way, fam, don't take Yvette and Antonio's word for this stupid shit about this pack. Go and look at it for yourself. Never mind the fact they call themselves friends of ADOS. If they had asked me, I would have told them don't do that at all. I don't even use the hashtag anymore. You know why? Because I'll be damned if I get told that my little platform is just a money grab for some trademarked fucking hashtag that I don't have no say over or no control over or no nothing. So if they had asked me, I would have told them, don't put ADOS in there. But it's a great fucking idea. They spent their time, their money, their resources, their efforts to organize this damn thing. At least it deserves a looking at. But when they announced this to people, that they had done this, you immediately saw people looking for ways to discount the efforts that these people had put in. Immediately. I'm talking about immediately, fam. It wasn't like there was a few days where people kind of, pondered upon it and said, okay, wait, what do I really understand about PACs? What do I know about this type of thing? Do a little due diligence. No, it was immediate. These people had their characters questioned, their integrity impugned, their characters maligned. They were accused of salary seeking, to want to have our political voices controlled by others who contribute the money to the PAC. They were called everything but a fucking child of God. Why? Well, the answer is very simple, fam. Because the data isn't the only thing that drives this shit. It's ideology. It's a story. It's a narrative. When you have a narrative that says that any attempt to try to better your position, or even worse, try to better everybody's position, is bound to fail due to the fact that we don't have this catastrophic infusion of resources that we all direly need, well, then you're going to look at any effort to try and free ourselves from this prison in which we find ourselves. You're going to look at that as just another means to keep us trapped. You're going to look at any efforts made as just aspirational, bootstrapping, do-for-selferism. And the worst part about it is that because of this story, this ideology, the very people that could have gone toward making this PAC a possible success are now inaccessible. They're completely inaccessible. If you want to advocate for ADOS or whatever acronym you call us, you can do it without hashtag ADOS. They've made it clear. If you want to try to generate resources, gather funds, whatever the case may be, for advocacy, for our people, for our justice claim. No calls right now yet, fam. You can hang it up. There will be no financial resources forthcoming from any partisan of hashtag ADOS. None. So you see, fam, the fault isn't on Yvette and Tone. They've been consistent in that if they didn't think of it, if they don't understand it, if it's not a part of whatever strategy that they think we should operate under, you can hang up any type of even lip service. Fam, the fucked up part about it is that I've come out publicly against down ballot voting, right? Everybody knows I'm not a proponent of Democrat down ballot, right? But I have also repeatedly stated that I support my brothers and sisters' right to vote down ballot, that I will not shit on them, that while it is a political strategy, I just don't believe it's valid. But if you do it with my blessing. I have said that if that is where you are, then that is where you are. You should be all right with that. It is okay, fam, if you vote Democratic down ballot. I don't agree with you, and that's okay. I don't have to agree with you. Your ballot is your ballot. How you do it is how you do it. We can continue to work together to find a strategy or stratagems that we can all agree on. But not so if you're a partisan of hashtag ADOS. Yvette and Antonio's pronouncements, even when they're misinformed, because yes, they are not fucking knowledge demigods. They can be misinformed. They can misspeak. They can misunderstand. They can have biases. They can have all of that shit when they tell you something. But because many of us have said fuck the data, because let's keep it a buck, fam. Hashtag ADOS will tell you that it's all about the data. We got to stay grounded in the data, grounded in the data. Bullshit. At this point, they're grounded in ideology. Nobody give a fuck about the data. Because the data is, if you were looking at the data, we have about 2.9% of the total wealth of the United States of America, and the whites got pretty much all the rest. Okay? That's the data. Let's keep it a buck, right? We have other data that suggests that we have quite a few poor brothers and sisters. And that's facts. But the data does not say that we have nothing. Or did 2053 come and pass without somebody telling me? I thought that the whole big thing was we have to push forward this advocacy because by 2053, if we haven't done it, we won't have the capability to really do so. So we still have a little. We don't have a lot. But a little is not nothing. And yet, what is the rhetoric that you hear whenever somebody talks to ADOS partisans about actually putting something in on something? What we hear is, we can't call it, fam. Accrued disadvantage. We broke. We're going to have to eat out of, tuna cans today. For some of us, that is true. But is that the entirety of the story? Is that the entirety of the narrative when it comes to our people? No. What that is an ideology. It's an interpretation of the information. It's an ideology that says you cannot. And fam, I argue that if we're in such a position where we simply cannot put any type of financial contribution toward anything that might be to our collective benefit, then fuck 2053. We're done already. Hang up your hats. Go watch motherfucking gamer video channels. Leave this politics bullshit alone. We're fucked. If we literally have no resources whatsoever to put towards political advocacy for ourselves, then what the fuck are we doing? Why are we talking about any of this? If we're completely flat busted, if we have literally zip, zero, nada, zero, zilch, pennies, we got nothing. Then fam, I've been wasting your time for the last year, now haven't I? Because all the rhetoric in the world, all the activism in the world, and 50 cents won't even get you a fucking cup of coffee. But you know what, fam? I'm going to take you to the teaching screen and we're going to look at the information. But I want you to understand one thing. The information don't fucking matter. The data don't really matter. At this particular point, you are listening to two stories, two narratives. two ideologies, one of which says that you cannot do, and the other that says all you've ever done is do. So keep doing. One ideology leads to paralysis, to looking for ways and reasons and means to discount any push, any move towards actual, measurable, producible, reproducible fucking results. But we got the book club though, so I guess that's something. Hashtag they were her property. I guess that's something. Actual, measurable, tangible results. You see, fam, the best part about cleaving to an ideology rather than allowing your ideology to be shaped by the information around you is that ideology is literally without measure. I don't have to prove anything to you when it comes to ideology. I don't have to demonstrate that my ideology is better than your ideology. They're both conceptual. They're both abstract. We could sit here and argue ideologies literally until the motherfucking cows come home. What is your ideology driving you to do? Because if we listen to one story, we can't do nothing. We can't call it, fam. No matter what the effort is, no matter what we try, no matter what great brainstorming ideas we come up with, something, we don't even have to come up with something new, right? Black people don't always have to reinvent the wheel. Just try to use other people's wheels. Oh, you can't use their wheels because they have advantages you don't have. Well, what the fuck? We can't use their tools. We can't take their money. We can't engage with them. We can't discuss anything around them, right? So our brothers and sisters who started this pack, whether I would support it or agree with their particular pack or not, or whatever the case may be, fuck all that. Don't worry about that, right? But these brothers and sisters that started this pack, the very people that they need in order to prove that the pack idea could work won't contribute. Won't do anything. They won't put nothing up. Nope. $5. $5 a month. Well, we can't give $5 a month. We can't even get everybody to give $5 a month to Yvette and Tone in the super chat. Make it make sense. So our whole political advocacy as a tribe, the key measurable, right? The key measurable is how many subscribers a particular advocate or a group of advocates has. That's the measure of the potential of our political advocacy in the United States, is how many people follow Yvette and Antonio Moore. What? These people were shit on because they said, just like you code switch when you go to work to get the bag, why are we hammering so hard on these celebrities? Because they're not jeopardizing their bag to become activists. Instead, why don't we make an avenue to where they can go ahead and cut a check to support and pay for advocacy? Oh shit. Now this part of the decadent veil. They kissing the ass of these celebrities. How is it you demand a celebrity do something your ass would never do? Many of you right now go to work You change your cadence and your mode of speech, and you talk a hell of a lot quieter, and you put your hair up in a perm, and you don't do anything flashy. And you say, "Good morning, Mrs. Johnson," with all 32 teeth shining to get your motherfucking bag. But you expect Meek Mill, Snoop Dogg, everybody and their mama to go out there and jeopardize millions of dollars of their bag just so that they can sound right to you? Make this shit make sense. And so you have this brother and sister that said, hey, maybe we should not go so fucking hard on them. Let them say whatever the fuck they gotta say or do whatever the fuck they gotta do to get the bag. But guess what? After those celebrities get home, after appearing on their bullshit TV shows and having mics thrusted up on their face, they can come home, sit at their desk, open it up, grab a pen, grab a checkbook, and they can write a check. So you can go out here and afford to say the things they cannot say. You can go out here and be the advocates they cannot be. Oh, that's grifting. That's covering, that's being draped in the decadent veil. No, what the fuck that is strategy. What the hell that is strategy. There's a reason why Muhammad Ali is known for being how he is, because he was one of the only people that was able to do what he did, and he paid a horrible cost for it. But we're supposed to build an ideology that doesn't take into account the reality on the fucking ground, which is that as black people, we have to do whatever we can to try to get the bag. And that means we got to kiss the ass of people we don't want to kiss. We got to engage with people in a way we don't feel comfortable or normal with. And that means that while I have to buck dance or step and fetch or whatever the hell you feel like calling that bullshit today, when I come home, I can still write a check. I can still support people who don't have anything to fucking lose, who can go out there and be my voice, who I can sit back off in the cut with the lights turned out in front of my computer screen watching the video of my brothers and sisters out there getting it the fuck in and say, that's what I'm talking about. I supported that. Look at them spending that money I sent them. That's what I'm talking about. But that's seeking a salary. That's grifting. My fucking ass. That's strategy. You know, those of you who still believe that we're too fucking poor, too broke to do a PAC, and you show that chart showing our income and shit like that, right? You know, showing our wealth position and all of that. How many of you took a look at the Latino line on that chart? Hit a one in the chat. You know the chart that goes around with the blue line for the white folks and the line on the bottom for black folks, and there's like a yellow line for the Latinos, like a red line for the black. Hit a one in the chat if you've seen that chart from hashtag ADOS partisans when they tell you we can't call shit. Okay, how many of you took a look at the Latino line or the Hispanic line? Because, fam, I don't know if you knew it, but the Hispanic line isn't that much higher than ours. And I mean, it's like this. Like, we basically neck and neck wealth-wise with the Hispanics. Now, as a descendant of the enslaved here in the United States, I have a problem with that. My people helped build the country, right? So we got work to do to engage the machineries of politics, economics, and all that shit to fix that. I get it. But there are multiple lineage-based PACs for Latinos and Latino advocacy. Multiple. And sure, some of them are getting money from Soros. Some of them are getting money from other sources and funds and so on and so forth. But isn't it funny? Everybody talks about, well, if you get paid by these white folks, they control your voice. Isn't it funny? Soros seems to pop up all the time, connected to different things, and yet all these people are saying different shit. It's almost like Soros just wants to encourage people to say different shit, and he throws his money behind it. I don't know. It seems weird to me, right? Soros will back this group who's talking about black shit, and they'll back this group that's talking about LGBT shit, and they'll back this group talking about Latino or Hispanic shit. And Soros is just giving out the money, and it's a tax write-off basically for his ass anyway, right? So Soros isn't coming and knocking on the door saying, "Hello, I am George Soros. I need to know what you're saying right now." That's not how the fuck this shit works. But we can't take money from nobody. Nope. According to Yvette, you should not give money to anybody who wants it. Well, I have news for you. You live in the United States of America, and the United States of America is a representative, it's a republic, right? It's a republic, and its economic system is ran under an alleged free market capitalist system. In other words, fam, everybody in America wants money. They not only want it, but they need it. They have to have it. So what is she really saying by don't give money to anybody who actually wants it? The fact is you can clearly logically establish that in a capitalist country, everybody wants money. Everybody. Fam, I want money. Matter of fact, why ain't y'all pop nothing in the super chat or whatever? You know what I'm saying? I need money, right? But my point is that everybody wants money. So what is she saying? She's saying only give your money to the people who won't lie to you and tell you they don't want money. Because I never see Yvette or Antonio turn down a donation. I never see them say, "Nah, fam, no more super chats. We good. I'm doing this for the people, for the love. Nah, don't worry about it. I'll eat ramen and tuna tonight. I'm good." Right? Take that money and, let's put it towards some political advocacy, shall we? They don't say that. This is a shade. I'm not throwing out no numbers because I'm not a pocket watcher. I don't need people to say I'm hating on the motherfuckers because I'm not. But I also noticed that they ain't turning down no money either. They ain't turning down no opportunities to get more bread, to get more access, and they shouldn't. That's the whole fucking point behind creating a goddamn PAC. Why should you depend on brothers and sisters to fight for your advocacy, fam, who are struggling to pay their motherfucking bills at home, who ain't got no food in their refrigerator, who the shoe leather on their shoes got holes in it where they've been walking and beating the pavement on your behalf? What the fuck is wrong with us putting some money in some people's pockets for our advocacy, in our interests? Why should we have to starve in order to do something for our people? In order to even be seen as somebody who will do something for our people? If you're doing flyers cost money. So what? You supposed to just go out and spend so we're all broke, but you're supposed to go out and spend what little resources you got to do flyers and shit. You're supposed to spend your money going back and forth to chapter meetings and shit. right? You're supposed to spend your time, your efforts, your labor, but you ain't supposed to get nothing in recompense for it. You're not supposed to be supported in that endeavor. A PAC, fam, can do that. Specifically, a super PAC. A super PAC cannot contribute directly to candidates, which is actually to our motherfucking benefit. Fam, how can anybody come in and control your voice when you are not out there trying to buy politicians? When all of your money goes to buying advocacy. When your money goes to paying for educators and advocates. When instead of Sister Taj having to go and spend money on postcards, Sister Taj can write a little one-page grant application to our PAC, and we can shoot her a check to buy as many motherfucking postcards as she needs. And guess what? Everybody in ADOS, everybody who's a subscriber of Yvette and Tone, if they just put in $5 a month, would bring us upwards of $350,000 a month. Almost $5 million a year. Don't seem like much. But fam, you don't actually need that much. Fam, another thing. I'm fucking sick. I'm fucking sick of the non sequitur bullshit about we have to compete with our political voice with Mike Bloomberg. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Mike Bloomberg has a McLaren when it comes to politics. He can jump in the fast lane. Money talks. So Bloomberg can jump in his McLaren F1 and take off down the political highway. He can go into a market and buy a whole bunch of ads and shit like that, right? Well, I guess this means because Mike Bloomberg can do that, everybody else just need to stop spending money on political ads and go home, right? Strangely enough, nobody else is doing that. Strangely enough, I'll see a Mike Bloomberg ad, then I'll see a motherfucking ad for Bernie Sanders, then I'll see a motherfucking ad for prop this or for, referendum that. Strangely enough, Mike Bloomberg being a billionaire doesn't stop people from pushing any other political issue they want to advocate for. But we get told, oh, well, if we push our advocacy, he can just drown us out. As if Bloomberg is going to give that much of a fuck about us putting up an ad in the 5 major markets in this country talking about our history and the need for restitution for our people. Kind of like what Marianne Williamson did in South Carolina. And strangely enough, nobody drowned her out. We were so proud of that motherfucking ad, but we should have been ashamed because we, the bottom cast, the broken ones, right? The ones who supposedly have less than nothing. We can fund ads like that. We should have ads like that running during Maury. Look, fam, you want to talk about educating people? How many of you motherfuckers know about Everest College? How many of you know about J.B. Wentworth? 1-877 cash now. Come on now, don't insult my motherfucking intelligence. And how do you know about this shit? You know about it because it come on during Wendy Williams, because it come on during Maury, because it came on during Jerry Springer. Come on now. And they kept running spot after spot after spot after spot after spot after spot. And they didn't give a fuck about the fact that there was other competition in the arena. They just put their ads out there with a little snappy tune and some motherfucking slogans. You niggas hung up on the data. People don't give a fuck about the data. What they care about is sound bites and slogans. Not because they're ignorant or because they're stupid. It's because that's what hits them where it counts, in the fields. But you can't have no ads running during Maury, during Wendy Williams. You can't do that. Everybody else can. Strangely enough, Mike Bloomberg hasn't stopped a motherfucking thing as far as anybody else advocating for anything else. Nothing. Sure, if money talks, his money loud. But you know what I do when I see most Mike Bloomberg ads? I just click through them motherfuckers if they online. Most of the time, I just go past them. I don't even watch the shits. I'm gonna share with you a quick story, fam. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the phones. We're gonna talk about this shit today. I've had it up to here with fucking diplomacy. I've had it up to here with a narrative that tells me that I'm fucked no matter what I do. And I don't think it's wrong for me to actually believe that I'm capable of doing something I know I'm capable of fucking doing. There's a group of people in this country, fam, that once upon a time was one of the most overlooked, maligned groups of folk in this country. Not equivalent to us. I'm not saying they're equivalent to us before you start flashing. But overlooked, disrespected, maltreated. One day, back in the late 80s, I'm watching TV and I see an ad. And the ad just says, love is love. It's showing people playing, kids outside, sun shining. Then at the end, the message is, love is love. Then I see other ads. You know, intolerance is injustice. Love is a human right. They're all over the place, mind you. They're like background noise. They're constantly running. I see them on TV. I see them in magazines. I see them everywhere. And then a big blow happens. These people, some of which wanted to serve in the military, were told, okay, we'll let you serve as long as you don't let us know you are who you are. And that right there lit a fire. Wait a minute, haven't we been telling you that love is love, that intolerance is injustice? This can't stand. We need to organize. And that's exactly what they proceeded to do. Oh, fam, there was roadblocks in the way, right? You have religious people in this country that are against it and stuff like that. You even had a state, I think it was California, Prop 8, right? Where they had some issues. There was some roadblocks. But they didn't stop giving. They didn't stop saying, nope, we're done. Fight's over. Prop 8 won. Let's go back into the closet. Nope. And all the time, like background noise, the ads. Love is tolerance. Love is love. Everybody should be love. Accept us. We're people too. Like a metronome. They started organizing politically, organizing using PACs and other vehicles. We kind of know how this story played out. Nowadays, gay people, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people can get married and be just as miserable as the rest of some of you motherfuckers. Hell, there was even legislation that said if you paid taxes up to 3 years during the time before this shit was legal, refile your tax return and we'll get you your tax refund, tax benefits. They can go to hospitals and be with their spouses and loved ones. And the shit, whether you like it or not, is just normal. And it took them 20 years. Because remember, the Stonewall riots and shit was only in the 70s. So 20, 30 years of background advocacy, of constantly pressing home that there are people too. Love is love. Love is tolerance. Intolerance is injustice. Over and over and over. No matter the roadblocks, no matter how many people came out to rallies or parades or whatever the case may be, that constant cacophony that was on message, that was speaking when your ass was sleeping, that was speaking when you were at McDonald's, that was speaking when you were doing everything else, that speaks when you cannot speak. That's what a pack does. That's what a pack does. PAC ain't about just throwing money at politicians. What happens if we give the politicians our money and they just stab us in the back? That's why you organize a super PAC. So you don't have to give no politicians no motherfucking money. But if they got some act right, you can leverage the power of your PAC to be able to actually pay canvassers to make phone calls on behalf of them. You can run ads advocating and supporting them. You just can't coordinate with their campaigns. There's even hybrid PACs, fam, where they have separate accounts. One that acts like a traditional PAC and the other one that acts like a super PAC. Sure, we broke. Some of us. You know how many people that I've talked to, fam, that are for advocacy for us, but for whatever reason can't ride with Yvette and Tone? This isn't to throw shade at Yvette and Tone. Not at all. But ADOS is sitting here saying we don't have the numbers. How do you know? There's a bunch of people that I talk to all the time that it don't take hardly no effort at all to convince about reparations and the need for advocacy for our people. But they just ain't gonna fuck with Yvette and Tone. Not like that. Not as leaders. Not as them running the whole show. Not as ideologues. Not as adherents to their ideology. And they would be more than happy to contribute to a PAC or do anything else you ask them to do. I've had black businessmen say, hey, I can't really get involved in that political shit. You know, my business is operating in this area where I can't really fuck with that. But I really believe in what y'all doing, man. Tell me how I can go about supporting you. What I got? Nothing. I got no vehicle that them brothers and them sisters can contribute to. They can't be political activists, but they can write checks. We got nothing for them. No vehicle whatsoever. Alexis said there's more folks engaged in this movement than we can actually account for. They're silent but aware. Facts. But see, the problem is you can't see that when you're an ideologue. When you're adherent to an ideology, there are certain blind spots and places where the ideology puts an eye patch on you. So you can't see that shit. Because it isn't about the data. If it was a time that our brothers and sisters in the hashtag ADOS movement were about the data, that day is long past. I don't think really very many of them left that are the true diehard partisans actually do real research. They just simply wait for Yvette and Tone to tell them what to think about a particular topic or a subject or a particular data item or a talking point or whatever the case may be. That's no shade to them. That's just hard code ass truth. Because if the data drives what you do, you act differently. If a solid analysis of the information changes your behavior, then your behavior changes, but nothing changes there. I would agree with you, Monty. Their ideology is perfect for people who don't want to do anything. I'm sorry. It's just factual at this point. You can't tell me that that's not the case, because everybody who wants to try to put forth something that you can measure, right? Something that you can actually put hands on. Look, remember when FBA and all of that was riding with us and the hashtag tangibles 2020 was trending, right? The reason why that was trending is because it's such a clear statement of what it is that we're looking for. No more lip service, no more bullshit promises, no more backburnering, but solid, tangible, specific, targeted advocacy, resources, and so on and so forth for us, up to and including cash payments for restitution for the injustices done to our ancestors and to us. Tangibles 2020 encompassed it all. But guess what? Notice how we ain't really talking about tangibles no more? Yeah, Tiffany, tangibles 2020 is catchy. That shit got a hook. Yeah, tangibles, I like that. But we ain't talking about tangibles no more. Because tangibles, when you push for tangibles, tangibles can be measured. Listen to me. Tangibles can be measured. They can be counted. Reason why you don't want nobody fucking with money or asking about money and this, that, and the third is because money can be counted. That's factual. That's factual. Money can be counted. Oh, and they tried to put the spin on it, talking about, man, everything is cool until you introduce money into it. When are you ever going to have anything that you do in the United States that doesn't involve money? Never. When? When the fuck is this magical world that Yvette and Antonio live in that you can just gather together a whole bunch of bodies that are possibly starving, ain't eating days, got no clothes on their ass, outside in the cold, but hey, it's people power. What does people power even mean? Fam, at this point, we know it's not about the data because even basic ideas aren't questioned anymore. When somebody says the concept of people power, if you are grounded in the data, the very first thing that should be out of your mouth is, what do you mean by that? Give me a definition. Give me something I can hang my hat on. Give me something to where this concept isn't just a bunch of fucking political gobbledygook. What do you mean by people power? What does people power look like when it's exercised? What are the results of exercising people power? Basic research, right? Grounded in the data, right? Those are questions that you should just be asking right up front. But that's not happening. That is not happening. Instead, what is happening is that any effort you make, because trust me, you're going to be the ones making the effort. Make no mistake about that, fam. You are going to be the ones to make the efforts, not Antonio and not Yvette. Right? The elder brother BGS said people power can be measured. Votes, volunteers, hours work, etc. So where the fuck is the analysis? Where's the information that people power? Where is that information at? You're going to get told after you put forth your resources, your efforts, when you sit there in your household, spending your time away from your family or cooking a meal or something like that, trying to strategize and figure out a way to get your family, your tribe out of this 400-year hole in which we fucking find ourselves, you're going to find that your character is going to be shit on. Brother Travis, also known as Black Dollars University, has gone hard in the motherfucking paint for ADOS. Brother was featured on the front page of the New York Times. You know that hit piece article that Tone praised through the fucking roof? But now, Brother Travis is persona non grata. He's a grifter. He's trying to make money off the movement. This is OpenSecrets.org, fam. OpenSecrets.org is a great resource. By the way, after the video is over, links to all of the pages that we go over right now will be down in the comments section so that you can read the information for yourself. Because again, somebody's going to stay grounded in some damn information around here. OpenSecrets.org talks a lot about PACs. Talks about the ramifications of Citizens United, how PACs operate, and this, that, and the third, right? One great thing about OpenSecrets.org is you can actually find PACs here. Here's some articles on the front page, but here, over political action committees, you click here, and it'll take you to where you can look at the amounts given to candidates. You can break it down by type of PACs and so on and so forth. Fam, I'm just going to give you a few examples before I open up the lines because I really want to hear from y'all. But here is a PAC called Latino Victory. Latino Victory is a progressive political action committee working to grow Latino political power by increasing Latino representation at every level of government. Every level of government. That's local, state, and federal. Right? Now, Latino Victory, here's some information about them. But I'm going to show you here back in 2014, when they first got started, what they had on hand. They took in 2014, $250,350. That's in their first year as a PAC. That's what they took in. Right? Went up a little bit in 2016 to 2018. It don't take that much money, fam, to start a PAC. By the way, remember I was telling you about hybrid PACs? Yeah, the Latino Victory Fund is a hybrid PAC. They finally switched over from being just a regular traditional PAC to switching over to being a hybrid PAC. Check this out. Even shows you the donors. Look who's giving them money. Individuals and organizations is giving them money. Right? But a lot of this, fam, believe it or not, can be hidden. That's what people be talking about, dark money and shit like that. Because it can be hidden. Here's another PAC, the Aspire PAC, the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Rising and Empowering PAC. Aspire PAC is the political arm of Asian American and Pacific Islander members of Congress. Aspire PAC stands for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Rising and Empowering PAC. Aspire PAC is focused on supporting candidates of Asian American and Pacific Islander descent and those that support and promote the issues of the AAPI community. You know, fam, strangely enough, these sound like ethnic or lineage-based PACs. Oh, here's their information on Open Secrets. Just in case you were wondering, this is what they're doing in 2020. Back in 2012, when they got started, they were actually called CAPAC because it's a leadership PAC. It's organized for a party and shit like that, right? But look at the total receipts for that year, 88,564. Yep. Strangely enough, fam. Now, here's the thing. Shout out to Dark Child, by the way, and Black Man 903, fam. I see y'all. Here's the thing to note. When you go through Open Secrets, you'll see Soros contributes to all sorts of different political action committees. Yet, strangely enough, I still see an AAPI, right? An Asian American Pacific Islander ethnic-based pact still advocating for ethnic-based issues. Soros gives to the Latino Victory Fund. But yet I still see the Latino Victory Fund fighting for Latino victory. But you're told that if you accept money from anybody who ain't black, that you're a sellout. That you've been co-opted, you've been bought. It gets even worse than that. If you ask for money at all, you're automatically assumed to be a sellout. It's just a matter of time for you. Everybody else can raise funds for various things for their people and stuff like that. And strangely enough, their people consider them to be good people. If you ask whites, allies, anybody who's not black for money, you're selling out our political voice. If you ask black people for money, then you're a grifter, a vulture feeding off the carcass of a dying and decaying people. Sounds like a bind that you're in, doesn't it? In a capitalist society, it takes money.
Brother, homework be representing like a.
Thank you, sister. I try. Sounds like a conundrum, a pickle, a quandary. In a society where cash rules everything around me, right? Cream. Shout out to Wu-Tang punk ass. Right? How are you supposed to do anything without it? How are you supposed to do anything without it? Jacqueline, I won't dignify that question with a response. I'm sorry, but I got no fucking diplomacy left. Ask a serious question and I will give you a serious answer, but that's just bullshit. Before I open up the lines, just one last thing. I wanted to show y'all this. Remember that big push for the year of return for Ghana, right? Where they were opening up Ghana to, for us to return home and this, that, and the third, right? The year of return pumps $1.9 billion into Ghana's economy. Now, I know what you're thinking. $1.9 billion. That's not a lot. More than a lot of us think we got. And strangely enough, it was us that pumped that $1.9 billion into Ghana. So you mean to tell me this, that we can pump $1.9 billion into the Ghanaian economy, right? Through transport, airfare, accommodations, entertainment, tourism, etc. Right? We the brokest. We got nothing. We got zip, not a zilch, zero. We can't call it, fam, when it comes to political advocacy. But we somehow or another, I don't know how we did it, I guess selling ass out there or something, we came up on $1.9 billion to just give to Ghana. I agree with you, Taj. What could we do politically with $1.9 billion? Fam, we could fund advocacy. And when I say fund advocacy, I mean that we could actually have brothers and sisters that we pay to do shit. Like regular Americans do. They get paid to work, right? We could actually pay people to do stuff. And I know what you're thinking. What the fuck you look like asking me for money? I'm barely making it from point A to point B and blase skippy woo woo. I get it. Fam, I'm unemployed. Ask me how much money I contribute out of my household for various people's support, for supporting various media outlets, for supporting various efforts. Ask me. Because it is not a small amount, and I don't have a job. Well, this is my job. This is what I do for you, right? I don't have a job otherwise. And I'm not looking to advocate myself into a job either. I said that if I start this pack, everybody who was watching my broadcast knows that I said when I start this pack, I will start it. I will pay for the paperwork. I'm a trained paralegal, so I will incorporate it and the whole 9 yards. I will do it all. The only thing I ask is that you do not make me a leader of it. I don't want to lead it. I don't want to be the boss of it. I'm more than happy to have a position in the pack to just be, I don't know, an advocate coordinator or some shit. And if that could come with a salary, that would be nice. I ain't going to complain. But I ain't ask nobody for no money. But we can't call it. One narrative says that everything you do for yourself is only further feeding your dysfunction. That for every step you try to take out of the hole, out of the pit, you're only sliding back down. And another narrative says that your ancestors built you for climbing out of fucking pits, for overcoming in spite of the obstacles, in spite of the circumstances, and that until the day arrives when we absolutely have nothing left, with what we got, we will fight. The tale of two tribes. I ask you today, fam, which tribe are you? 425-296-1980. Shout out to my brother Art. Shout out to brother Monty. Shout out to brother Charles. Shout out to Stakes is High. Menace Optara, shout out to you. Why can't we just do both? We can. Call in. Let's talk about it. You right. Menace Optara said we can't continue to live like we white people. Sacrifices have to be made. I've talked about that too. Caller from 413, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Hey, Marcus Double C.
Brother C's, man. What's good, fam? Talk to me. Man, I'm sorry.
Well, you know
I'm normally diplomatic, but I fucking can't anymore, fam.
About time, one. You can't be diplomatic in all situations. I'm going through that stuff similar myself, personally and professionally. One thing is when you said everything is fine until they introduce some money into it.
I'm sorry.
All I could think was that when Yvette Carnell and everything is fine with the ADOS movement until you introduce money into it. And it's like, why are we longing to struggle? You can't do nothing without money or currency.
Facts.
You can't eat. You can't take a shit because you ain't got the money to buy the food.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The people that's telling you that don't trust nobody with money who got their hand out aren't turning down no bread.
Here's the bad part about that. And I'll add on to that. Oh, no. Translation is, oh, no, you shouldn't be asked for money, but yet you get money yourself. And I know people that have money will scheme the system to get more money.
Yeah.
But when you do it, it's wrong because it's morally wrong. And that's another thing we got to get rid of. You know, all money ain't good money.
My ass.
Listen, man, I call it the broke preacher's mentality.
I'm sorry,
I'm
my
tired of struggling.
motherfucker. I'm with you, fam. My ass. Look, Soros money spends just as well for my political advocacy as it does for anybody else's. If Soros wants to cut us a check for $250,000 today to do black political advocacy, I'm all in. And fuck what you talking about.
All money, good money, but hey, who's that guy? Brian Allen. He's our friend. Well, wait a minute now. He's a billionaire.
Yeah. Make that shit make sense too. So I guess it's only some billionaires, you know, the ones that Antonio ain't on a first name basis with, that are the bad billionaires, you know, the decadent veil and all that. The ones, you know, like B, who he's cool with, you know, that's his ace, that's his mans in them. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all gravy.
So, it's dirty capitalism. We're in a capitalist country, moron. This ain't communism or socialism.
What did Clinton say? It's the economy, stupid. Like, look, fam, like, why do we keep trying to reinvent the wheel? I'm all for Look, I'm an anarchist. I'm all for transformational politics, all right? I want to see this whole shit go away and start something new. None of y'all are more radical than me, but that said, I have to work within the confines of where I'm at, which means that if we got to work within this shit, then let's work within this shit. Look, fam, the thing is this, Cease. I just wish people would stop bullshitting. Either you're looking to burn this motherfucker down and start from the ashes, okay? Or you're looking in some way to better your spot in it, to better your position in it. And I wish we would just keep it 100% a buck. Right? That groups like ADOS and other advocacy groups for us ain't necessarily looking for us to become, you know, gun-toting, you know, bomb-tossing revolutionaries. They just want us to have a better spot in this motherfucker. Well, if we want a better spot in this joint, there's a myriad of ways we can go about doing that, even at the bottom where we are, that could be effective.
Yeah. And I agree with everything you just said.
Shit, I mean, let's just keep it a full ass buck. Like, if you went to the powers that be, right, and said, look, we're not looking to necessarily burn this motherfucker down, but we tired of y'all trying over us. Here's some policies, plans, agendas, items, procedures in place that would put us in a better fucking spot so we can all move forward as Americans. That's an argument that 90% of America could probably get behind, given enough repetition and enough time, right? But we all supposed to be out here, poor righteous teachers, beating shoe leather and bumping our gums for political advocacy.
Did you see the Breakfast Club interview with Claude Anderson?
I did.
Remember what Claude Anderson said? Like, he got 3 federal judges or whatever. He said, how one man working for the Carter administration could get that, but the collective as a whole can't get nothing done. He says something that was a very simple answer, because I asked and demanded.
What? You mean to tell me that Dr. Claude, shout out to Dr. Claude, by the way, went up into the legislature, had a sit down, nonpartisan, no bullshit, no shade, no drama, and just said, hey, look, here's my arguments. Here's the information. Blase skippity. Wait a minute. What, everybody tells me Trump is racist. Yet didn't he sign Executive Order 782 or whatever, giving financial resources, training, low interest loans and all of that shit to Asian, American, and Pacific Islander businesses so they can start business generation? But he racist. He signed it. Fam, nobody put a gun to Donald Trump's head and said, you either sign this shit, Trump, or it's curtains for you, buddy. We'll give you the Dallas treatment. Remember JFK? Nobody said that to him. They presented they shit and was convincing. And Trump said, yeah, I like it. Here you go. Done. But we not supposed to ever try to get no advocacy with somebody that ain't on the political spectrum that we own.
No. We're supposed to strive for biscuits and struggle cuddles.
I'm good, fam. Like I'm I'm so good, fam. Man, I'm beyond good, fam. I'm so
Oh, oh,
serious.
oh.
Like
Circle
I have
cuddles and
been
standing in lines.
truly measured and tried to just let things be what they are. But I'm sick of motherfuckers coming out against every idea. You tell us to do it ourselves, but what you don't tell us is that you mean we are to do it by ourselves. So one ADOS person, right? Or FBA, whatever hashtag or designation I use descendants of enslaved Americans in the US, right? Per Dr. Darity, okay?
Yeah.
But one of us is supposed to be able to find a way to do advocacy for all of us. Because if you're saying go do it yourself, you do it, right? Per Yvette. And we go do it, and then you shoot down the idea and you cut the legs off from under us with possible people that would support this shit. Then what the fuck did you tell us to go do it for?
Because I don't think you guys were actually going to do it.
Personally, fam.
I was just saying that.
Personally, fam, I think you're absolutely motherfucking right. I don't think that they thought that we would do it. And now that they saw that we are doing it, and it's something that we can show as a clip. Look, if you organize a pack, fam, there's paperwork. Right? That shit ain't just you wake up one day and say, I'm a pack, fam. Send me money. No. You have to make filings with the FEC. You have to organize that shit as its own legal entity. You have to do incorporation documents and all sorts of other shit. You got to open up bank accounts. That's measurable. That's stuff that you can actually see. And we can't have stuff that you can actually see because ideology don't demand that. That's it, fam. I'm
we'd like to be entertained.
With this damn diplomatic bullshit. I'm done. And if that means that people that hadn't canceled me before will cancel me now, good. Because you weren't who I was talking to, no way. I'm a black outcast for a reason. Fam, I'm going to let you have the last word so somebody else can get a call in.
All right, man. This is my last word. Like I said, one, if you stop being everything to be entertaining to us and be focused, we'll be fine. But we want things entertained. We want to go back and forth with each other, instead of focusing on the goal. Everyone wants to be the HNIC, like the Highlander mentality. There only could be one.
Facts.
Why can't there be multiple of us?
Because multiple of us means that I don't get a dictation over how shit run.
Well, instead of being a leader, you should be a hider. So if one of us gets cut off, one head gets cut off, two more grow in that place.
Yep.
That's just my personal feeling.
I feel you, fam.
And that's my final word.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's a hell of a final word. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Love you, fam.
Yeah, you too, Mr. Black.
Peace, brother. Peace.
Catch you on the flip side.
All right, caller from 860. It's your man, Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hey, Brother Mark, it's me, Ro, man. I'm calling in from the 860, checking in.
What's good, fam? What's good with it? What's good with it, fam? Talk to us.
I'm gonna definitely talk because it definitely hit up the alley of some situations I was dealing with, where I got ousted out from the group because of some of the things I was talking about, like super PACs, getting money, and stuff of that nature, and I got demonized.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, also I said some things on another channel about Claude Anderson, which rubbed them the wrong way. I said, this is the only man that's sitting with Trump to get reparations, and now you're going to cut him out of the deal? That sounds a little backwards.
Yep.
You should at least explore that option, strategize and use everything to your advantage. And that caught a lot of backlash where they outed me from the group, but yet still they'll keep other people who's actually attending harm to the group, stealing money and doing things that's questionable, they keep them around. And I have a little bit of like the black culture, we have a thing of harboring people that are negative to ourselves. Yeah. And that's really toxic as a group. But when you bring some of that stuff up, that brought up a lot of those situations that I've experienced. on the front line with ADOS and situations like that.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
again,
fam,
there's
look,
a lot of people, and then I'm gonna go over a little step
go ahead,
further.
fam. I'm shutting
Dead
up. Go
on,
ahead.
you're dead on. No, you were dead on right. Where they were saying that they want. There's people out there saying that they need to get rid of vet and tone, that they would not sign on to ADOS because of vet and tone.
Yep.
Because of their actions. These are people that have money. So like these are people that have lots of money. So if you have people like that that's turning that down, that leads you to believe that leadership should be in question.
The thing is that I give props where they do, right? But if I can give props, then I can also give critique, right? Now, if I can only give you props, I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really choosing anything. You see what I'm saying? Like we talk
You're becoming
about
like a yes man in the church.
Yeah, we talk about advocacy and stuff like that, and those things are important. They absolutely are important, right? But why would you ask a group of people that have traditionally found themselves at the power, in the hands of people that have been antithetical to their interests, to essentially trade one group of oppressors for another group, right? In other words, I would think that any movement that was really about us politically, as well as economically, socially, whatever, would be looking to foster as much autonomy amongst the tribe as they possibly can. And when you see that that is not happening, when people are being bound by ideologies rather than the data, you have to ask some hard ass questions. And I got tired of not asking those questions. It's as simple as
It
that.
leads you to believe. It leads you to believe is this reparation movement is it becoming the new evolution of a religion, and that's something that a lot of people and my friends, like a couple other people from other circles, have talked about.
Yeah.
Like, is it the replacement of Christ? I'm not saying it's right.
No,
wrong,
I hear you, fam. I mean,
it's
there's been
judge.
people that have said that it's cult like or whatever the case may be, and I'm not going to speak to that. I did a broadcast discussing cults that I would encourage people to go and look at to make that determination for themselves. But what I will say is this: is that at the end of the day, my adherence to or loyalty to an individual cannot supersede my loyalty to the tribe. The moment that happens, I'm useless to you, right? I cannot do for you what I need to do for you.
And that leads us to that thing where they're saying that they didn't want to have no Messiah complex. It looks like a Messiah complex. Like from a distance, if one's looking at it from the outside looking in. They'll say that they pride themselves saying that they didn't want to have a Messiah type of leadership with ADOS.
The thing is, fam, is that you got to know your limits. You got to know yourself, right? I know that I can never lead anything of my people en masse. There's a reason why I'm called the Black Outcast, because there are things about my life that other Black people won't fuck with, that they don't like, right? That they just cannot abide. And I accept that. I'm still Black. I'm still going to talk about Black shit. I'm still going to be interested in benefiting and uplifting my people, but I have to do it from a different space. I have to do it from a different place. And those that can ride with me will ride, and those who can't won't. And that's fine, right? The thing is that I try as best I'm able to foster leadership and autonomy in as many of us as I can. I want to see more Mark Blacks, not less, not just one. I want there to be a whole nation, a whole tribe of Mark Blacks out there willing to do whatever it took for advocacy, right? And the fact is that if you think that way, there are certain actions that you take. There are certain things that you espouse. There are certain ideas that you foster. And if you don't think that way, then you will act a different way. You will foster different ideas, right? And so, fam, to be quite honest with you, I think that the more time progresses, what we're going to ultimately see is the foundation of an echo chamber, where those people who read that particular narrative, right, who make that particular analysis of our historical circumstances, our lineage, our heritage, and so on and so forth, will abide that. to the exclusion of everything else. And for those who see a different story, they will work to enact a different story. You feel me?
Okay.
So,
I wanted to change the speed on something. I wanted to drop this jewel about the fact about the musicians and stuff like that and the entertainers. The thing is, why on earth are we not holding our entertainers accountable? Where is our reparations track? Where is our reparation music? See, like the thing is, they had that Jeezy crap, My President's Black, and all that other crap. That blew up. You know what I mean? And the thing is, that was designed by Diddy. That was designed by the Democrat Party during that time
yeah.
to get this man in office. So where's our musicians that's playing to our catering to our situation? I have answers to that on another channel. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question, fam. As far as holding celebrities accountable, what I do is I meet people kind of where they are. Like, the fact is that a lot of our celebrities, especially when you start talking about things like the rap game and stuff like that, come from the mud, right? And one of the rules you learn when you out there in the mud is you don't fuck up the bag, right? You're not gonna really do much to mess up, what's putting food on the table and putting, clothes on your ass and so on and so forth. And I think that to a certain extent, not always, but to a certain extent, it's unfair to demand that from celebrity, right? I believe
what I mean is within the confines of the art. Like, the thing is like, if you're a rapper, again, why are you not making a reparation track? If you're so
I get you,
why
right?
can't you?
I'm saying that's
what I mean in the guys.
But here's the thing: would there even be a market for it? Right? Here's the crazy part. So somebody does a track about reparations or whatever the case may be. Sure, it might be hype. We get a good dope beat going, and I think that if we want entertainers like that, we have to make entertainers like that. In other words, I don't expect Boosie to get up and do a damn, reparations track. But there's a brother out there who's looking to be an advocate.
But you expect Mos Def to do so.
No, I don't expect him to do it.
We have
either.
artists.
I don't expect anybody who's in the game right now to do shit but do what they've been doing. But what I'm saying is that there's a brother or a sister out there right now who's got the skills to pay the bills but ain't getting the looks. We can put some money behind them to do a track or something like that. My point is that either we're going to grassroot this thing or we're not, right? Because
that was some of the things I was trying to put some of the ADOS on the thing on there. Like, there's certain hashtags that you can create within your community. Like, for example, we don't have cop cams on our cops. So I made a cop hashtag saying cop cam NL, basically pointing out that they need to put cop cams on the NL. So instead of the ADOS community embracing that and putting it on their situation, they wanted to hate on it or hate on any of those concepts. But these concepts are used to combat what's going on in our communities. No different from where Tariq Nasheed had that tangible, that one word that highlighted everything.
Yeah, that hashtag was killing the game. I'm sorry. I used it every damn chance I got. I'm not gonna lie. I used it in places where you can't even put hashtags. You feel me? Like, if I could have spray painted that shit on a wall in my neighborhood or whatever the case may be, I would have.
That's what.
But see, that's my point. Tangibles. It's one word that hits you in a place that has nothing to do with your analysis of the data and this, that, and the third. It hits you where you feel shit. See what I'm saying? People are moved by emotion. The data is important.
Is, like, if you have the music, if you have the music and you have the culture that's all tied into the situation, then it's going to propel that message even more. Then it's going to encourage people to research it on its own. Like, this is where you had like Tribe Called Quest and all these other guys when they were talking about their esoteric lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
They had a message, and I think that that's the level that we should be progressing towards.
And fam, I tell you what, if you're interested in that, you do it, and I will back you. I'm not going to say you go do it, and I'm not going to throw no money at you if the track is slapping. Because if you can make a dope-ass track or whatever the case may be, I'm all in.
Oh, I got a couple of tracks.
That's my man. I look forward to hearing it. You know what I'm saying? blackoutcastmedia@gmail. Shoot me a sample or something, man, and let me check out your shit. I'll highlight it. I'll play it on the channel. I'll get you hype. Hell, it's the least I can do for you.
Because there's a lot. That's how we have to move this type of issue.
But hey, fam, I appreciate you calling in, man. I appreciate the good word, man. Thank you so much for your contribution to the broadcast tonight, fam.
Yep, all that.
Peace. So, Sister Kimberly, by the way, peace. Sister Gigi, peace to you. I saw y'all pop into the chat. Sister Kimberly said we need wind at our sails, or whatever the case may be, and that it's all talk until the funds get raised. Can't raise no money if ain't nobody giving it. It's as simple as that. I mean, you can say what you like. She said we're not ready for PACs. Whoever is ready. That's like saying you're not ready to grow up yet. Well, guess what? We find ourselves adults. So whether you ready to grow up or not, you better figure it the fuck out, because everybody else don't seem to be ready for it either, yet they're getting it done. And they're using whatever resources they can get access to make it happen. They're not giving a good goddamn about who's contributing to it and who ain't. Yeah, Kimberly, I hear you. ADOS won't. If nothing else, that broadcast Monday made it clear to me that any proponent or adherent to ADOS, the hashtag ADOS, will not back anything that isn't given the express imprimatur of Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. You don't have to explain that to me. I get it. Y'all will not be contributing to shit. I get it. But when it comes to talking about, cool, how are we going to raise the money? That's not a conversation you need to even be a part of. Right? Just keeping it a buck. You can stay off to the side and chide us for having these high-flung ideas that you don't have to throw any money at or any resources at. Caller from 214, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Mark? This is D out of Dallas.
What up, D?
Yeah, what's happening, man? Man, I was just I came in on the tail end of your podcast, but I was hearing about the PAC and everything. Mm-hmm. And you know, I kind of understand why we need a PAC or whatever. And I kind of understand your point, but I also understand what Yvette is saying. Mm-hmm. You know, as far as the money, you know, she's saying that, you know, we're not going to be able to compete with the Bloombergs, the Steyers, you know, billionaires, because they're basically able to buy the party.
That's a non sequitur, fam. We're not having to compete with Bloomberg and Steyer. And it should, and any political advocacy committee or political action committee that we focus on shouldn't be partisan any goddamn way. We do have black conservatives. We got brothers and sisters that are conservative. We got brothers and sisters that are too progressive for the motherfucking Democrats. So what? They're not supposed to have a political advocacy voice with us because they on a different part of the political spectrum? I don't think that any political action committee that we organize should have any partisan effects. If it does, it should be bipartisan or multi-partisan. We don't have to compete with Bloomberg and Steyer for the damn Democratic Party. I could give less than a fuck about the Democratic Party.
No. What I think the overarching point or the main point of it is that, you know, even if it's conservative or whatever, you know, you have all this big money out there. And I think one of the points she was making is that, okay, you give this person the money to push your agenda, and someone comes along with more money and they give them this money to push their agenda. They get into office. And then the next thing you know, they're not pushing your agenda. They're pushing this other person's agenda that gave them more money.
Fam, it's a false dichotomy. You know, look, you can walk and chew bubble gum too, right? Any political in our issues for them to be viable, right? There will always be candidates. Look, I don't care particularly if a candidate is for LGBT rights or for immigration. I can push them on that, right? I can still use my political funds and my political advocacy to go against those particular positions of that candidate, right? But if they are also talking about me, specifically directing things directly toward me, that's the goal, right? So I don't understand this whole, I see, the thing is that people have these misunderstandings, these misapprehensions about PACs that just simply don't exist. We don't need to be trying to buy politicians. What we're buying is more amplified advocacy. What we're doing when we do ad buys, or when we get pamphlets made, or when we pay for people to go in and speak to people, or when we pay for canvassers to put boots on the ground, is we're using our collective financial resources to amplify our political voice. This isn't saying shut up and don't say nothing. Right? This isn't saying to ADOS people, don't continue to do your advocacy. Don't continue to ground yourself in the information. This isn't a fucking either or thing. It is a both and thing. Even if we still need more people, which I would argue that we do. I'm not disputing the fact that we need more people on board with what we're trying to do. Even if we need more people on board with what we're trying to do, why aren't we also developing that chest so that when we get the bodies, when we get the people power, we can then start to utilize some of those resources to make moves that we need to make? That's the whole thing, right? There's all these straw man arguments out there about competing with Bloomberg and Steyer and buying politicians. Nobody that I know of that's advocating for a PAC is saying that we have to do any of that shit, or that it's even possible. I have advocated for a PAC for the longest time, and I am not sitting here saying that we need to be worried about competing with Bloomberg and Alia. We can't. If they come out against the thing, they're going to have longer bread. So what? Nobody else is stopping their advocacy, though, simply because of Bloomberg's pockets. Why is that argument framed toward us? We're supposed to not do anything financially towards amplifying our political voice, but nobody else is stopping. They're concerned about it, right? They talk about it all the time, the influence of money in politics and this, that, and the third, and they talk about public financing of elections and things like that. They have concerns about it, but they're still putting their money up. They're still putting their skin in the game. They haven't stopped doing what they're doing, so why the fuck should we?
Right. I totally get your point. As far as like the PAC and everything, even if it's just enough to support a local candidate, at least you're giving them the support, that they need in order to run for office and to push your agenda. Like Tamara Shealy.
Yeah, shout out
Georgia.
to Tamara Shealy. I contributed to the system.
Right. I contribute to her all the time too.
Yeah.
And, like voices like in Ja'Cory Arthur out there in Kentucky.
Yep. Or Kofi Changmeyer.
Right.
Yep.
They are going to need money, and we are going to need to support them so they can run at least an adequate campaign.
Yeah, but they got their hands out. And Yvette told us, don't give money to anybody who's looking for it. Her words, not mine. I'm not putting words in her mouth. She said this: you should not give money to anybody who wants it. So that means Tamara Shealy, even though she's got our name in her mouth and she's talking about doing stuff for other people too. Again, if you're a black politician, I'm not asking that you only do stuff for us, that you do stuff for us as well, right? But I digress. But because she got her hand out and she's asking for money, she wants the money, we shouldn't contribute. How does that make sense? So she's just supposed to say, I'm a candidate, and just sit there and wait for people to contribute. She's not supposed to ask. She's not supposed to be desirous of building up her war chest so she could be a more effective candidate, get her name out there, so on and so forth. It's just whatever, right?
Right. I don't think she meant it like that, actually. I don't think she meant it as far as like the candidates that are out there running. I think she meant it like in another way. Like like some people I think when Angela came on and explained everything, I think it kind of clarified some things for her. But you know how they say like she brought up the example of Black Lives Matter, right?
Yep.
How they were vociferous in their advocacy or whatever, but then when the money started coming in, now you don't really hear about Black Lives Matter. They've pretty much been silent. I just think that they want us to be advocates, they want us to be educated, and they want us to push our agenda no matter who's giving us money or whatever. They don't want us to be silent. Sometimes we're going to make people uncomfortable. Sometimes people are going to be mad and upset. And, donors to the PAC or whatever might be mad and upset, and they might not want to give us money anymore. But we still have to get out there and push our advocacy for the ADOS agenda. I think that's what they're afraid of.
So what would be stopping you from doing that? What would be stopping you from doing that if you had a PAC? What would be stopping ADOS from continuing to pursue its advocacy the way it's been pursuing it if there was a PAC? If people was just throwing $5 a month towards a PAC, what would stop that? How does one preclude the other one? Because essentially the argument that's being made here, and the reason why these people that started this PAC had their characters maligned, was because it's either this way or that way. So explain to me, how does operating a PAC preclude not doing advocacy the other way?
I don't think starting a PAC precludes doing advocacy for your group or anything like that.
So then what's the problem?
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with a PAC.
But ADOS adherents are saying, yeah, go ahead and start your PAC. We ain't contributing shit to it, but we'd love to see y'all do it. And they the ones that can actually help make it successful, but they won't put in shit on it. But they want to talk, though. They want to tell us, oh, y'all got all these great ideas. Go to LegalZoom and this, that, and the third. I'm a paralegal. I don't need to go to LegalZoom. I can draw up the documents on my own. I don't need nobody's help to do it. I'm more than willing to put my money and my resources and my time and my efforts behind something like that. But then if I turn to the people that could make it a success, that could use it, that do need it, they tell me to fuck off, that I'm grifting, that I'm ripping off the commute, that I'm trying to make money off the movement and this, that, and the third. This is crap. They tell you that to do work is work avoidance. They tell you that we got to crawl before we can walk. Like you can't do both at the same time. Like you can't do a PAC and do advocacy the way we've been doing it at the same time. Like that's impossible. That can't happen. And nobody has been able to explain to me, how does one preclude the other one? No one. No one has said anything about, if you operate a PAC, that means that we have to completely stop all of the advocacy we've been doing before. Nobody's been able to explain that in any way that makes sense. But everybody got something to say about somebody who's actually trying to make something happen. Something that you can point to, something that is tangible, that you can measure.
Right.
It don't make sense, fam. And we don't have to sit here and pretend it don't make sense. So to all the ADOS people who told me, you go do it, I ain't contributing shit to it, but good luck. I don't need your well wishes. I don't need you to say good luck. I look forward to it. I don't care if you look forward to it. If I put in any motherfucking work, if I put up any resources to try to benefit my people, my lineage, my heritage, I could give less than a fuck at this point if they have anything to say on it, positive or negative, because they've made it clear they ain't putting in nothing on it. They won't even give it lip service. Like, fam, lip service doesn't cost you nothing. If you say, hey, shit, that's a great idea. Now, in your head, you could be thinking, I can't afford to contribute to it, because there will be people who can't afford to contribute to a PAC. We understand that, right? So in your head, you could be saying, oh, man, that's a great idea. I can't really throw no funds at it. You know what I'm saying? But what you could do is you can amplify the message. You can use lip service. You can, advocate for it. rather than try to find reasons why nobody should put in anything on it and then say, well, see, it wouldn't work. We got all these thousands of people we convinced now to not put shit toward it. So now we know it's a non-viable idea. It won't work. Well, it won't work if you won't put nothing on it. If you don't put gas in your motherfucking car, you don't put maintenance on your car, you get in and turn the key, where do you expect it to go?
Right.
Where do you expect it to go, fam?
Yeah,
you don't put no gas in it. You don't put no tires on it. You don't take care of the shocks and shit. You don't put new brake shoes on it. You get in and turn the key. What the hell do you want? It's not going to go anywhere. So they tell us on one hand to go do the work because we're otherwise avoiding the work, whatever the fuck that means, right? And then when we go and do the work, they say, well, I'm glad you did the work. Nice organization you created there. I ain't putting nothing in on it, but good luck. No lip service, no amplifying the message, no encouragement, no nothing. But I'm supposed to break my motherfucking neck and my back to advocate for you. What the hell are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, I look at it. Yeah, I look at it like this, man. A lot of us are new at this, as far as like being politically active and civically engaging in politics like this. So as far as like the PAC and all that, man, if ADOS is pushing this, and you're ADOS, Mark, I'm gonna support it. Whether it fails or succeeds,
fam, don't support it. Don't support it because hashtag ADOS supports it or not. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do me a favor, fam. Just look at it, right? Look at what PACs do, how they operate, right? Get up on your understanding of it, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you don't know nothing. I don't know what you know, right? I'm just saying that if you're unfamiliar with it, there's plenty of resources which I'll actually link. When this video goes up, I'll link some resources in the comments section for you to start doing some research on what PACs are, what types of PACs there are, and stuff like that, right? And if you feel that it's an idea that has viability, right, that could work for us, then support it, right? At least I'm being honest, fam. I'm telling you that this is an idea that could work, right? It could work. And it's not hindering anything. It wouldn't be hindering anything we've already been doing. You feel me? So why not? Why not?
Right.
Like, fam, if you're new to political advocacy, let me share one piece of advice, just one, right? And this, I hope, will serve you in good stead. Don't discount anything. You never know what could push us over the top, fam. Don't be so hardened by what somebody's ideology says about what we're capable of or not capable of, or this, that, and the third, that you start removing options from the table. Don't do that to your people, right? Leave us as many outs, as many options as we can come up with. We can try some of them. Some of them will be successful. Some of them won't, right? We can take stabs at things, right? But don't discount any possibility, any action that might actually help us out. That's the best advice I can give you if you're new to this political advocacy. Everything has possibilities. Okay?
Right. Exactly, man. But the thing is that I understand, man, is that we're working against a monolith. They are interested in just maintaining the system, maintaining their power. And what we're trying to do is overturn that, with our agenda. So as long as, we're pushing the ADOS agenda, I'm supporting it. I'm supporting the candidates that are pushing the ADOS agenda. I had a squabble with a FBA person that was FBA, man. And, we were going back and forth on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And they said, I'm not voting for anybody that doesn't have a black agenda. And I said, hey, we can agree on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I support you. I support you in that because you want a black agenda just like I want a
You
black
damn
agenda.
right I do.
Let's go ahead and push it. Push our respective agendas because we're pushing for the same thing. Because as long as we're pushing for the same thing, we're doing what we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more,
So
fam. And look. If you're with this advocacy, all roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to our
right,
restitution, to our remediation, restoration, and repair. If you ain't on that path, then we ain't got nothing to talk to you about anyway, right? Like I don't understand the pushback and the beef from my ADOS brothers and sisters. I want what they want. I want the same fucking thing
right,
they
right.
want. We can have discussions on how to go about getting there, but ain't no one person get to dictate that shit. Ain't no one group of us that get to dictate that and to cut each other's throats. I've backed every play that ADOS has ever laid out there. When they put out the call for people to push HR 40, I was right there on the front line. When they called for people
Mm-hmm.
to push for advocacy for Byron Allen's defense of the Civil Rights Act of 1866, I spoke up on that
Mm-hmm.
too. I live tweeted the conference because I couldn't be there. Although I had bought tickets to the conference, right? I couldn't be there. I've backed every one of their
Uh-huh.
plays, even when I didn't agree, even when I didn't understand quite sometimes what the strategy was or whatever the case may be. It was my people doing something. And so if I could do no more than to pay it lip service and encourage them, I've backed them. And to see them basically cut the legs off from under other people simply because they don't fucking agree, because they don't understand how it's supposed to play out, because they would have to actually put something in on it. That shit is sickening and it don't deserve nothing but smoke.
Okay, I understand your point, man. I understand your point, but as long as we're pushing that our agenda,
Yeah,
I support it.
I
You know what
appreciate
I'm
that,
saying?
fam. And I appreciate you.
All right.
I appreciate you, fam. Peace, fam.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Yes, sir. Caller from 803, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
As long as we're pushing.
Caller from 803, it's your man Mark Black. Go ahead and turn down your background so we can get some good quality here on your call. What's up?
All right, can you hear me clear now?
Yep, I can hear you just fine, fam. What's your name and where you calling from?
We're Sean Jefferson, bro.
Brother LaShawn, what's good with it, fam?
Well, I was listening on delay. I was waiting until the gentleman ended his call because he brought up some young man facts that we got to recognize. Now, we both got gray in our beards.
Yeah.
We've been in it a long time.
Yeah.
He just found out. So I love and appreciate the way you didn't sit there discount what he was saying and all his new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way you said, you're going to have to figure this out. And I'm not, and maybe he lucky enough he does, and it worked for him.
I trust my
that.
little brother, man. I trust him. I trust that he's got the capability to understand. Like, people try to make politics seem like it's this crazy ass unapproachable, arcane thing that you have to specialize in. No, you don't. You just have to be an informed citizen. You have to give a damn. Right? You just have to give a damn and be willing to put in a little bit of time to understand the system in which you live. This isn't rocket science.
And not be stupid enough not to listen to people that have been arguing it the whole damn time. You got to realize, if you don't listen to people that always ran into them roadblocks, you're never going to make progress because you're going to run into them same damn roadblocks.
Exactly.
But it's different. You don't know nothing. You an old ass man. I'm an old ass man that made it legally, or after I committed crime. I've been legal ever since.
Yep.
And I'm still making progress. Even I might be broke as shit. but the law ain't knocking at my front door.
Facts. You can go to bed and lay your head down at night in peace, fam. I come from a similar background, man. As you know, LaShawn. I grew up in the PJs, man. I gang bang. I did all sorts of crazy shit. I count my blessings every day that I'm still here. I'm an old dog that learned how to survive this shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not to say I know everything. You know, if there's nothing I've learned in my 47 years is that I don't know everything, right? But, you know, I've learned some things that can, you know, definitely contribute to the conversation. And I think that, you know, we need to show a lot more humility, a lot more respect, right? Like, if we are this broken, busted up people that ADOS always tells us that we are, I would think that grace would be the first thing on the menu, right? That would be the first thing that's served up in every interaction between us as tribes people. Every time
Sir,
we
you
have
think they
interactions
saying
with each
grace
other.
when you put a plate in front of their face?
Yeah, you know, I mean, every time we have interactions with each other, we looking to cut each other's motherfucking throats. And then you wonder why come there's so much hostility, so much bullshit. Man, if you my tribes people, I got grace in abundance for you. Now, it's not an unlimited bank account. You know, you can't draw it down into overdraft. But that being said, you're going to get grace first before you get smoke. The only reason
Brother
why I'm
Black.
mentioning this shit now is because I've just gotten, quite frankly, tired of it. I've gotten
Brother
tired of
Black.
extending grace to
Brother
people
Black.
who
May I
continually
apologize in interrupting your you are absolutely 100%
Yeah, they
right.
continually malign my character. They continually
but
try to push
but
a narrative that I got some
but
sort of.
sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
You're
fam.
dealing with Negroes that you cooked one hell of a meal for, and the plate looked good, and they didn't even say a prayer when they ate every damn thing off that plate. You're giving them misjudgment because you got hope in them, and they have no hope.
The thing is, brother LaShawn, is I don't have hope in them. What I have is trust. I know from whom we descend. I know I've got a inkling of what it takes to have made us be here, right? And
I
knowing
can
the
accept
people we
that
came
because I know
from
it.
makes me trust the people that are here, right? Like if you really buy into the whole premise of ADOS, which is
It's
that
in your instinct.
I'm sorry,
It's
go
your
ahead, fam.
instinct. It's in your instincts to trust your own.
Yeah, I
It's in
mean,
your instinct.
I can't help it. I even when I probably shouldn't trust or extend grace to some of my people, I do, because like I said, I understood what it took for our ancestors to get us here, and they were some mighty motherfuckers to do that, which means that there is potentially mighty people that are here right now, and if I don't give them that opportunity to be mighty, if I don't push them to be mighty, if I don't uplift them and encourage them to be mighty, then how can I expect might from them?
Man, what you said, we came from mighty motherfuckers. You won my floor, boy. I'm telling you right now, sir. That shit right there, I'm gonna use that.
We
I'm gonna steal
have,
it
man,
right
we
now.
did. We come from the baddest folk that ever trod this soil. Like that's without a doubt. You can't take weak people and put them through what we've been through these 400 years and have weak people come out on the other side. Now, do we have issues? Yes. Do we have trauma? Yes. Do we have disadvantages? Yes. All of those things are true. But we also have greatness. We also have things about us that make us mighty. We also have things about us that push us to excel and to rise to higher heights. And we should not diminish that simply because it sounds like aspiration or trying to bootstrap yourself. I mean, god damn. Like, are we just supposed to just roll over and die because of all of those disadvantages and traumas and this, that, and the third? Or are we supposed to get up and try to do whatever we can collectively and individually to make it better?
We cursed as a people because we ain't never gonna do to them what got done to us. And so we accept everybody's bullshit and then everybody bandwagon and then the only thing they need to do is get half the black population. If the black women say it, guess what? It's the black person's word.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it becomes the black woman's motto. While black girls got magic, they son is the damn devil, and it's okay. Because sooner or later, they might get a white man or respect from one. I don't know what the hell it is. And the thing is, you still Negro, but you got to save the community they kicked you the fuck out of.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, sir.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look,
what we're dealing with right now in 2020, and this is the people we got to convert to get back to, you know what? I know you don't want to get shot, but damn it, all fucking follow the dude, the woman, or whatever.
You know, LaShawn, the fact is that
because her feet hurt, she just told the white man, "You can kiss my ass. You can hang me. I ain't getting the fuck up out the seat because my boils is hurting."
I'm gonna tell you.
But you know what the hell happened? Nicki Minaj disrespect her ass.
Yep.
And it was just, it's like, and then we get some damn, and you notice, here it is. All these foreign blacks is the representation of the black American that was descended from slaves here, and then when you put them on a goddamn Congress panel, we don't need no, you don't need reparation, motherfucker. You weren't the nigga they whooped and made slave. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck off the panel.
Yep.
But we didn't have that, and then everybody's pissed off, and yet the white folk is joking with you because while you jumping around screaming people of color, guess what? White folks are people of color too.
Fam, that's too deep even for me right now, fam.
No, bro, I had to repay you back because you done stunned me
even for
and
me
like
right now,
like
fam.
hell.
Hey,
I was pissed off. This is Thriller in Manila, and your ass was goddamn Muhammad Ali, and I just got you once.
You wilding out right now, fam. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. You know, LaShawn, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, fam, because I'm going to start to wrap this
We
one
good.
up.
Hopefully I inspire somebody else to kick his damn throat back up.
Yeah, as always, man. Thank you
your work.
for your contribution, man, to the broadcast. I appreciate you. Fam, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. I will simply say this, and then I'm going to end mine, right? If you have an idea, put it out there. You have every right to ask for support, for assistance. If people will back your play, be grateful, be mindful, show grace, be grateful. But if they won't back your play, even if they tribes people, tell them to go fuck theyself. They don't need to know anything else. If they're not willing to put up nothing, they're not willing to put in on anything or whatever the case may be, but they show rooting for you, fuck them. You don't need they rooting. Matter of fact, that's not rooting. That's slitting your throat. They just trying to do it passive aggressive. And it's crap. And if nobody else will fucking say it, I will. Because I'm already a black outcast. What are they going to do to me? Outcast me further? It's crap. I support you. You go do it. Watch, he going to go out there and do it by himself and ain't shit going to get done. And then I get to laugh at him and tell him how stupid he was for going out there trying to do it. Yeah, that sounds like your tribes people right there. Which tribe are we talking about? Tazaba, you wanted to call in, fam? I'll let you call in. Hold on a second. I'm taking one last call, fam. Please do not call in unless you are Tazaba. Go ahead, Tazaba. I opened up the line. Yeah, damning you with faint praise. Brother Tazaba, is that you?
Yeah, shalom.
Shalom. How are you, fam, man? It's good to hear from you. Go ahead and speak your speech, brother.
Yeah, it's been a little minute, Mark. I just want to holler at the fam, man. There's been a lot going on in my life personally, so I haven't really.
No, it's all good, fam. I kind of got a little idea of what's happening with you, man, and I'm just glad to hear your voice, and I hope everything is coming up aces for you at least.
Yeah, everything is lovely right now, man. And, I'm starting to get back involved and starting to get back to listening, but I do need somebody to drop. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand, like, really what the conversation is about, but I've been hearing, like, a lot of, like, speaking down upon Tone and Yvette and Ados and all the different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to get caught back up with what's going on and where everybody is, where their stance is,
It talks about
with,
I as you well know, I don't tend to talk down on anybody, right? I do call out
mhm.
shit when I see it, and I'm gonna do that. Just like they would have no problem doing it with me, I have no problem doing it with them. That being said, I can't give you everything because, to be quite honest, some of the rancor that's being thrown at Tone and Yvette is just bullshit. It was partisan stuff from some things that was said that offended, Tariq Nasheed and Professor Black Truth to other people. So I won't touch on any of that. My issue with them is a specific issue. I believe that the narrative that is being shared about what and who we are and what we're capable of is a narrative of diminishment. It is a narrative of disrespect, and it's bullshit. And I'm tired of hearing it. And I'm telling a different story. And those
Right.
people that will resonate with the story that I tell will jump on board and start doing different stuff and what have you. And those who continue to resonate with the story of, we're completely flat busted, we're diminished, we got nothing, fuck everybody, we're done. Well, let them be done. I don't have time for it. I don't have time
Yeah,
for it
I definitely
anymore.
agree. I definitely agree with that. I mean, like, we have an agenda. We have things that we're supposed to be, trying to get accomplished here.
Yeah,
And
and
I don't,
how we gonna do
don't,
that if we can't do nothing? If every move we make, if every step we take that isn't exactly what Yvette or Antonio would espouse is discounted, diminished, people's support cut off from under them, any potential support is diverted or denied. How the fuck is things supposed to happen is beyond me. But yet they'll tell you, good luck to you. We wish you the best of luck. Fuck your well wishes. That shit pisses me off. That pisses me off more than anything, Tazabot. If I tell you, Tazabot, you opening up an auto shop, right? You opening up an auto shop. And you like, fam, I'm going to be working on brakes and transmissions and everything, man. It's going to be cracking, right? And I'll be like, well, Tazabot, man, I'll never bring you my car, man, but good luck on that. How the fuck you gonna look at me? You gonna be like, wait a minute, nigga, how come you won't bring your car to me? Right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you'd have every right to be on that. Because you'd be like, damn, fam, the reason why I'm telling you is because I think that it would benefit you and I'm asking for your support. Well, fam, you can't be asking me for support. I can't call it. But yet I'm getting my car fixed everywhere else. This is bullshit. It's just flat out bullshit to keep telling people what we can't do anytime somebody tries to come up with something to do something. And the only reason why, Tazaba, this is it. The only reason why it can't be done is because they won't help do it. They'll tell you you're fucked up for wanting to do it to begin with, that you're a grifter, a thief, that you're a vulture, trying to eat off the people who ain't got nothing, this, that, and the third. They won't put in shit, but they want to tell you, though, that, hey, you go do it. That's a great idea. You go do it. Please. Like, no, you don't get to do that to me. You don't get to tell me that I got such a great idea, but you ain't putting in nothing on it. Well, if you think it's a great idea, then support me. If not, shut the fuck up. That's it. At this point, I don't give a damn what any ADOS adherent or partisan says about anybody else's ideas. Nothing. Why? Because if anybody says anything against their ideas, they get blasted out of existence. But if they put up any idea, anything that they want to use to further our advocacy, to push our goals toward this justice claim, their characters impugned, their reputation is shit on, no support is forthcoming. Why the fuck should we care what you got to say then?
Okay. like I said, maybe I'm asking the wrong question or the right question,
No,
but
you
I'm
ask.
getting
I
the
mean,
answer.
fam, if you're really interested, it'll take you a while, but you can go back and look at the kind of the timeline with the beefs and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't interest me. I could care less than nothing about the timelines and this, that, and the third, as far as who beefing with who and what personalities is with who and this, that, and the third, right? I'm saying that we have to decide as individuals as well as a collective. Are we really going after measurables? Are we just gonna sit around and twiddle our goddamn thumbs and talk about carts before horses and shit like that? Like we can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Like one kills the other one and this, that, and the third. I'm sick of it. It's a lie. It's an open lie. As a matter of fact, fam, it's not even a lie. It's so bad, it's not even wrong. Because to be wrong, it would at least have to be logical. But nobody has framed any type of logic that says that we can't do X to the exclusion of Y, right? That somehow or another doing a super PAC and contributing to that with whatever little resources that we can scrapple up to make that happen would somehow or another kill the advocacy we've already been doing. Where's the logic?
I got a question for you, Mark. All right. So I got a question. The question is, how do you frame this fact that Mike Bloomberg is in the race?
Mm-hmm.
How do you frame this? And then we already have Bernie. We already have Trump. We already have these other people, Buttigieg or whoever else is still in this race, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this guy Bloomberg just comes out of nowhere, and now he has these votes or has the black support, and you got black folks over here caping for this guy. That's what's bothering me.
That don't surprise me, fam. That don't surprise me at all, right? The thing is that, look, somebody is gonna buy somebody, right? Like that's the crazy part. Like the worst part about it, Tazaba, is Bloomberg's buying them cheap. It's not like Bloomberg is having to give up billions to buy black support. He's buying people cheap. But here's the thing I want you to understand, Tazaba. In the race with the Democrats, we don't have a dog in that fight. I'm sorry to say it. I know some people like Steyer, some people like Warren, some people like Bernie, whatever the case may be. We, as the descendants of the enslaved in the United States, don't have a horse in that race. I could give less than a fuck who they nominate as a Democrat. I'm not voting for any of them. So why do I care if Bloomberg spends millions of his own dollars to try to buy the damn Democratic nomination? That don't bother me at all. It don't hurt me one freaking bit.
Have you seen this other movement that's going on also? Blacks for Trump?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, this stuff is just, like I said, I'm just trying to get back involved.
But Tazaba, Blacks for Trump got some heat because they was actually giving black people money. Yeah, you didn't know? They was having events where they was cutting people checks. And they said, oh, they trying to buy the black vote. The black vote's not for sale. Bullshit. Bloomberg came out of nowhere and proved that shit to be a lie.
Right.
Right? So it's only vote buying and shit when it's poor black folk that's getting the money, right? If you throw $500-$600 into Brother Tazaba pocket or Brother Mark Black pocket, you trying to buy black votes. You throw a position with a title and $5,000 a month salary at a nigga, you know what I'm saying? That's not buying the election. That's not buying votes. My ass, that ain't. It's just that Bloomberg is paying a little more than Blacks for Trump. So, yeah, I mean, the fact is that so far we don't have a horse in either race. Which is why why that liberates us, fam, to be able to focus on every aspect of advocacy that we can get our hands on. We're not bound by the dictates of the Democrats. We're not bound by the dictates of the Republicans. We're not bound by neither one. Why? Because neither one of them is fucking with us right now. So we got open-ended space and opportunity to advocate exactly how the hell we want to advocate.
And not to switch gears too much, but I also heard the caller before me say something about FBA, ADOS. Now I missed those wars. I've been hearing about that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, foundational Black Americans and American descendants of slaves, it's just a hashtag. It means the same thing. It's just saying you're a black guy.
Careful, Tazaba.
You're a black person.
Those partisans will eat your ass alive for saying that when we use both hashtags, we're referring to the same folk. You're right, of course.
I was using both when I'm on the Twitter. When I was on Twitter, I'm about to be back on Twitter. Real tough. I haven't been there. I'm about to be there. Real tough again. And I'm gonna wait for it because, like I said, FBA it's to describe who I am as a black person in America. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You cannot claim FBA on your own and say, oh, you ate us. I mean, no, you can't do that.
They've turned it, fam, into basically the equivalent of set tripping. I'm not kidding you, fam. I actually had people tell me, you got to pick a side. You're either hashtag ADOS or you're with FBA and all the rest of them. And I've had people block me, people that I've had great interactions with, great conversations with, building with, supported, retweeted, showed love to, said fuck you because I don't use the hashtag ADOS anymore in my handle. I don't use it at all in my tweets. I don't use FBA either. You see what I'm saying? Because what's the point? I'm not here to set trip. You either are my tribes people or you're not. And if you're not my tribes people, I got nothing to say to you. And if you are my tribes people, then I ain't here for set tripping. I'm not down the ride. We not doing political Crips and Bloods in this bitch. I'm good.
No, we not. we not. We did that already.
For the whole team.
We did right, we did that already. Right. If you black,
I picked a side. I picked my tribe.
Yeah, exactly. If you my peoples, I'm riding with you.
Yeah, if you my peoples, I ride. I still ride with Yvette and Tone, even though I think they be on some bullshit sometimes, but they still my family. I still love them. I still want to see them rise. I still want to advocate for them. I still want justice for them. And see, that's what I'm talking about, fam. All this fire, shade, and smoke we directing at each other is more suited to be directed elsewhere, right? The fact is I don't have to agree with you and you don't have to agree with me in order for me to just pay lip service, right? If you don't back a pack, that's cool, right? Just say, hey, I think a pack's a great idea, fam. Go for it. And then don't cut your check. It's not like we're going to be standing over you. You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, did you cut a check? Did you cut the check yet? Did you contribute? No. You could, lip service is free.
Like I said, I just appreciate the work that people are doing. I don't look at them as no type of saviors or anything like that, or my leaders or anything like that. I just look at them as like, do your part of what it is that you're good at doing.
Man, this battlefield is so big, Tazaba. This battlefield is so big, man, that there's literally room for anybody to get up here and get in where they fit in. And the quicker we understand that, fam, the better off we gonna be. Seriously. Stop the bullshit.
We all gotta fight, We all gotta fight our battles, man. That's it, man. And at the end of the day, man, like I said, this reparations, black agenda, that's the most important thing, and that we should not get sidetracked from that. And at the end of the day, we need to push Bloomberg back wherever the hell fuck he came from.
Why? Tazaba, stop, bruh, stop. We don't give a fuck about Bloomberg. Let all them white folks that's butthurt and bothered about Bloomberg, let them fight him. Fam, we got other stuff that we can focus on. I don't give a fuck about the Democrats. I don't. I'm not here to reform the Democrats, to improve the Democrats, to make the Democrats better, to find a different spot with the Democrats. Fuck them.
I don't look at Bloomberg like a Democrat. I look at him like a straight Republican. I don't care what the hell.
Yeah, but it's the same with the Republicans, fam. It's the same with the Republicans. We don't have no Republicans out there as of yet that's pushing forward our justice claim. So we don't have a horse in the race.
But I'm just saying, Mark, Democrat, Republican, doesn't fucking matter. Fucking donkey or elephant. What's the difference, bro?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they both racist.
Facts.
So I don't give a fuck about neither one of their own parties. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fighting for neither one of them.
Bruh. That is facts.
You know what I mean?
So now that we know that, Tazaba, that frees us up to put our advocacy wherever we choose. right? That's the that's the beautiful part about what the Democrats have done since Black Lives Matter. They showed us that they're willing to lead from behind, whatever the fuck that means, right? But they're not gonna offer us nothing substantive, tangible, specific. And the Republicans, we haven't talked to them. So this opens up a whole new range of options for us as far as political advocacy goes. We're not bound to either party. If Mike Bloomberg goes into the motherfucking the nomination and sweeps the whole thing and buys all the super delegates, more fucking power to him. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if Bernie wins. I don't care if Bloomberg wins. I don't care if Trump wins. I don't care who wins. My political advocacy's got to stay the same no matter who the fuck sits in the White House.
That part right there. At the end of the day, it's all about getting what is owed to Black people for all the hundreds of years we've been in this country, building it up, doing all the little, making the culture pop the way it is, making everyone want to flock to America, making America the attractive place it is. When they want to say Black folks is the reason, no, y'all have done everything I can to try to take us out. Send drugs on us.
Hey man, don't let ADOS hear you. Don't let ADOS hear me say this, but we the original MAGA. We made America great.
Right.
We did. ADOS said, "Oh, we're not MAGA." Yes, we are. We made America great, and we can make America great again.
We can. I mean, we're the only ones who care about making America great. I don't see anybody else who really cares about making America great.
Facts. Nobody else give a fuck. They use America for whatever they want to use it for, Tazaba, and that's it. Everybody wants to talk about shit, talk about us, because we got our hands out asking for support and money, this and the third. How many people you support every motherfucking day who are completely antithetical to your interests, and you don't even question it? You don't even ask no motherfucking questions. But as soon as a Black person say, hey, you know what, let's contribute some bread together, let's like stack some cheese together to do X, Y, and Z, right? We're gonna need to see everything. We're gonna need to see all the paperwork. And who's on the board? Wait, what's his name? Let me look him up. Google. Oh shit, he used to be Blase Skibbity Woo Woo. Really? Oh, like get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, Tazaba. Thank you, by the way, Brother D. Will, for the love, man. I appreciate it. Tazaba, you know I've been fair, man. I've been more than fair. I've been good, fam. I mean, I've been hella good. Yeah. I've been trying to understand other people's point of view, other people's positions. Thank you, Sister Monty. I really appreciate you for that.
When it first started popping off, though, I tried to get with you. I don't know if you seen me calling you. I was calling you. I was trying to get at you before you dropped that video.
No, fam, I ain't seen you call. You know we answer if you call, man.
I was trying to call you. I was like, don't drop it, no. Hold on. But like, nah. But I love it how you come, because you speak like I said. That's why I mess with this channel a whole lot, because you come on here, you keep it truth. You feel me? You let everybody else come on here and share. You let us come and hop on the phone with you. We really have the conversation. It's not one person just dictating the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, we can come in and we can throw our little 2 cents in. We can say what's on our mind.
Man, y'all influence me. How many times have I had a conversation with somebody, and at the end of the call, I'm like, fam, I didn't think about it like that, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me. You see what I'm saying? We have a dialogue. I'm not the boss of a damn thing around here. I'm a member of the herd. We all are angry Black sheep, and we all are out for what is our due, and we will have it by hook or by crook. But we need to make sure that we put our hearts with the truth, because the truth is that our story is somewhere in the middle of this broken ass busted people who got basically next to nothing, and a people that are the mightiest. We're kind of in between. We are both. We're both. We have issues. We have traumas and stuff like that, but we also have the seeds of greatness and things that we can do, and anything that we can do, we should be doing.
Hey Mark, did you see that? Did you see the Breakfast Club with Dr. Carl Anderson on it? Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that one, fam. I did.
And then how you were saying how black folks had everything, how we had buses, we had all this stuff, and then like nobody wanted to ride a black bus. That sounds so idiotically crazy to me. That can't be true. That just
No,
can't be true.
fam, you can see the truth of it now. Two brothers and a brother and a sister, I believe, organized Friends of ADOS Political Action Committee. I need to do my due diligence on it, right? Okay, so but they have organized it. According to what I've seen, right, it is a legitimate operation, a legitimate organization with a board and the whole 9 yards, right? And you have people who will tell them openly that I'm not contributing a fucking thing to it. But I good luck, y'all. What? Like, make that shit make sense. Like, how is it supposed to be a success if you don't put anything in on it? Like, if you won't get on the black bus to ride, how are we supposed to have black buses? I'm just saying, fam. You see the evidence of it right now.
Yeah, if you niggas ain't put the ride, how are we supposed to have niggas stuff? Like, it's crazy. Like that when you were saying everything that when he was saying stuff like what he was saying on there, I just
this shit hurts, fam.
It hurts.
This shit hurts
it hurt a whole lot.
because Agent Smith just brought up something that is really telling. A lot of those ADOS people who won't contribute to Friends of ADOS PAC, whatever you think about a PAC, I'm not telling you to contribute. I'm simply saying it's available as an option to contribute or whatever the case may be, right? But how many of y'all gave to Marianne Williamson? How many of y'all have donated to Tom Steyer? How many of you, quiet as is kept, in the cut off in the back where nobody know, secretly are Bernie bros? Yeah. Now I'm not ashamed to admit I donated to Marianne Williamson, but I will also donate to a vehicle that's designed to help my advocacy too. You feel me?
Because she was the only one speaking about reparations, so she got some money from me too.
Yeah, she sure did. Some money in her account and big ups to Marianne Williamson. Some people gave, some people didn't. It's all good. My point is that it's okay to give to Marianne Williamson, who now is basically out of the race. She got that money and she's able to do whatever she do with it.
She did whatever we needed her to do at the time. Though.
Exactly.
I'm not mad.
She did what we needed her to do. She put it out there.
She served her purpose. Yeah, she served her purpose.
Yeah. And I'm with Sister Taj. Taj, that's why I donated to her, because she dropped the R word up on the motherfucking debate stage for nothing else. She deserved my little coins. She sure did. I ain't got no shame about the fact I gave money to Marianne.
I ain't got no shame. On my game.
None. Right? But that means though, fam, that means that if I was able to contribute to this liberal white woman who was essentially white-splaining our justice claim, how much more grace, how much more willing should I be to give to people who are my tribe's people, who are openly stating that they're advocating for my justice claim? That's my point that I'm trying to make. That's all.
Oh yeah,
that's all.
That's a great point.
That's all.
We should be willing to support each other and help each other without any holdback whatsoever.
Man, let me tell you something, fam. I'll give you Tazabot. If I gave $5 a month to a black PAC, and let's say that it turned out that it was ran by the crookedest niggas known to man, okay, and they ripped us all off, fam, it's $5. $5 a month, right? I wouldn't be donating it if I didn't have it to donate, right? Now, would I be happy that they ripped us off? No. Right? But would this mean that, any nigga now that asks for money is now persona non grata because they got their hand out? Hell no. That just means that them was the wrong niggas to trust with the bread. You suck it up and you keep it pushing. Like, black people act like we never held L's. Like everything we do, all we do is win. No, we don't. Right. Nah. Shit, most times we hold L's. And guess what? Most times, Tazabah, we hold L's with motherfuckers that we can't even get hands on. At least we see these people, know who their faces are, and can find them if we want to.
Right.
You feel me? Them people that put their faces and their names to this shit. We can find them if we have to and be like, hey, Where's our bread at? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can at least get hands
Right.
on them. Most of the time when we take L's, we can't even touch the motherfuckers. You feel me?
I'm just, I'm like this, man. We need to figure out whatever it is that we need to do and do it, because
Facts.
it seems like we keep on going back and forth about doing this or doing that. We need to pick something and stick to it, man.
Agreed.
That's just it.
Agreed.
You know,
But what we need to do though is understand that everybody that claims that they support you won't. There's some people that have made it clear that no matter what idea you throw out there, it's never going to get their support, even though they're the vehicle, they're the mechanism behind which any idea could gain any traction or support. You see what I'm saying? Somebody asked me in the chat, I think it was Sister Kimberly. She said, I'm not down with ADOS. Would you expect ADOS to amplify your message or put anything on it when you are not down with ADOS? I never said I wasn't down with ADOS. I said I'm not down with this particular down ballot strategy. And no, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an adherent to political strategies that I don't think are necessarily viable or getting us anywhere. But I am ADOS.
That's what brings me to what I was about to say. Like, you know
I
what I mean?
am ADOS.
If I know if it's a great idea to down ballot, I mean, like, what they say makes sense. Okay, go vote for it. Just don't vote for a president. Put ADOS, put FBA, put whatever it is, black man, whatever.
Yeah, I'm all for. Look, if ADOS wants to vote down ballot, I'm talking about hashtag ADOS, the political wing, right? If hashtag ADOS wants to vote down ballot, fam, they have my blessing. I disagree with it. I don't think it's going to do anything. There are white folks that have voted down ballot and didn't get what they wanted, right? So I'm not sitting here saying that I think it's a viable strategy, but do I support them in their endeavors to vote down ballot? Have I told people, hey, fam, if you want to vote down ballot, go ahead? I sure have. So how does that mean I'm not down?
All right, look, how many black people vote? You know what I'm saying? Every presidential election. What's the? I mean, they say it's what, we 13%, or it's about 30, 40 million blacks. Out of those 30, 40 million blacks, how many of them vote? You understand what I'm saying? That's a good question. And then those are the people that you try to get to, because a lot of black folks don't vote because they don't even believe in the system at all whatsoever. Yeah. So like I said, like you know what I'm saying, like a lot of my Hebrew brothers, they say, brothers, I ain't put the vote nothing. I ain't voting nothing. So you ain't got to count on them. They're not even put the vote. They don't even care about the conversation we having right now. You know what I mean? So my thing is this: what is it? We need to direct all this information that we have about whoever. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Cory Booker, whether it's Bloomberg or Trump, any information that we got, we just need to direct it at the people that's going to vote. That's what we need to concentrate on.
You know what? Hold up, Tazabat. Because you know what? There's a reason why people ain't voting. And like you said, part of it is that they don't believe in the system, but the system ain't really gave us nothing to believe in. If we want people to step up and vote, when we need to create that scenario where they have something to come out and vote for. And a super PAC would allow us to be able to do that. It would create that political narrative, that political space that encourages people to say, hey, you know what? I ain't never really been involved in politics, but man, I'm down for justice for my people. There's some bullshit. Let's see what this PAC is talking about. Oh, they holding a class on how to get involved in politics. I'm gonna go to that. See what I'm saying? Like, the thing is that we can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. The PAC enhances. It doesn't take away. It doesn't eliminate the advocacy we've already been doing or that we will continue to do, right? So again, the pushback can only say that the problem with the PAC is not the PAC. The problem with the PAC is something else. It's that it's an idea that some other people who have influence, who could mobilize at the very least lip service and amplification of the message, won't do it. And that's problematic as fuck. That's problematic as hell.
That's something that we can overcome. I don't see.
I hear you. But it makes things more difficult. I pity those people that actually, because I actually have had somebody tell me, because Tazaba, I know you know, but I've had somebody tell me, you know that I was actually going to organize a PAC. I actually had somebody recently tell me, somebody whose opinion I value a great deal, that I shouldn't do it. That I should keep my resources, keep my money, and not do it. Because the people that could help to make it successful won't. And the shame of it is that I'm finding it hard not to agree with them, fam. I got other ideas that don't involve the political sphere or whatever, that I believe I can get more support for.
But who idea was it for the super PAC? I mean, who idea was it? Because I remember I just seen the video where Yvette talking about, should we think of a PAC or whatever. But
it's an idea that's been out there for some time. I've been a strong advocate for a super PAC for quite some time, and there's been a few others, or whatever the case may be. So the idea is not new, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do it, but I'm saying that in light of present circumstances, it might be something I have to revisit. I got to introspect more, because to be quite honest, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not for slitting my motherfucking throat for people who won't do shit for me, who won't support me. I gotta sit here and be told that I'm a grifter and that I'm trying to feed off the movement just because I got a powerful need to eat sometime this fucking month, or whatever the case may be, when all of everything that I do is advocacy for my people. I wake up in the morning thinking about advocacy. I go to bed at night thinking about advocacy, but I gotta hear some bullshit artist tell me that my character ain't shit, that my reputation is in the toilet, because I actually had the nerve to say money. Oh, I said money. We should do something with money. Throw his ass out. You know what I'm saying? So I have to rethink it, fam. I'm not saying I won't do it, and I don't want the people to get disheartened. But I do need to make sure, and I mean damn sure, that that it's something that I can see some support for, because I'm not about to put myself. Look, I'm not Martin Luther King. I ain't trying to get my motherfucker. I want to live as long as any man. I'm not trying to be a sacrifice for motherfuckers who, when all of it's said and done, wouldn't sacrifice a damn thing for me. They won't even sacrifice lip service, but they want me to throw my resources and my time and my energy and efforts towards helping them. Fuck that. I'm not with it.
All right. Somebody in the chat just said, if we don't cut checks, we will always be lazy. Blacks looking for handouts to the dominant society. What do you mean by that? Monty's just
saying that the narrative is, as it stands out there, that we're begging the government and this, that, and the third. Right? That's the narrative. I'm not saying that's what we are. I'm saying that's what people say. Y'all just begging the government for a handout and this, that, and the third, right? If we don't start doing something to take control of our narrative, and I'm talking about more than just going door to door knocking and talking to our family members and shit at the dinner table. I'm talking about something that affects the narrative across the board for everybody in America. That's what we will remain. Right? Nobody has to change their minds until they're presented with information. And most people don't change their minds because of information. They change their minds because of repetition. They change their minds because they keep hearing, on their favorite TV show or just before the news broadcast, justice for the descendants of the enslaved here in the United States. As long as they keep hearing that message on a constant fucking loop, they'll change.
I love it.
They'll change. And then not a moment before. That's just the way shit operates in this country. That's how that's how LGBT people got the acceptance and stuff like that. They kept repeating the same fucking narrative over and over and over.
Absolutely.
We got to do the same shit. We won't escape that. We won't escape that. And that costs money. Sorry. But poor righteous teachers need not apply. That costs money.
I gotta agree with you on that, Mark.
It takes people, but it takes people also putting up a little bit of bread. The crazy part about it is these people that come out against the PAC or whatever the case may be, act like that we're asking them for all the money needed for political advocacy. Not like we're asking them to put up $1 million. when I know that any black PAC that operates will be considering themselves glad to have recurring donations of $5 a month. Recurring. I'm talking about not, you know what I'm saying? Not where somebody threw $5 one month because they heard something or they felt some kind of way. No, that PAC will consider itself lucky if it has black people that contribute $5 every month, recurring, right? So it's not like we're asking people to just throw up their entire life savings and shit for political advocacy. That's not what's happening here.
Right.
That's not what's happening here. You feel me? So, Tazabah, man, I'm gonna let you go because I want to take one more call from the brother. Shit, I forgot who it was, but I'm gonna take one more call and then I'm gonna wrap it because I'm hungry and I'm tired. But yeah, fam, I just want you to understand, Tazabah. First of all, I'm glad that you back with us, man. We have definitely missed you. You are a strong ram in this fold of angry black sheep, fam. And I look forward to you continuing to be a part of every and anything we trying to do to push forward justice for our people and to get this done, man.
I'm with you. I'm with the family, man. This is what it's about. Us advocating for our justice claim.
Yes, sir.
Period. Point blank. And all praise to the Most High. Shalom to the family out in comment world. And you have a good one, Mark.
I will, brother. And shalom to you as well. All right. All right, fam. There was one other person that wanted to call in. That was a great call, by the way. Shout out to my brother Tazabah, man. I appreciate always your contribution. And I want to say personally that I appreciate even the ADOS partisans who came and participated in the broadcast. I want you guys to understand that regardless of where we stand, y'all are still my peoples. Y'all are still my family. If there's anything that the hashtag ADOS or ADOS movement can do that I can support, that I can advocate for, that I can amplify, all you ever had to do was ask. I ain't never been that nigga that said that if you with ADOS, I'm not fucking with you. Nope. Sister Taj asked to amplify the message about trending those hashtags. I said, of course. As a matter of fact, for everybody who was saying Mark Black don't mess with ADOS, I already been amplifying those hashtags. And I know that it was ADOS folk who put that out there. I want to back they play anywhere I'm able to support them, anywhere I'm able to devote time, energy, resources into backing what they're doing. I will, regardless of whether or not I agree with them on this particular thing or that particular thing. But I can tell you for a certainty, those same ADOS partisans won't say the same for me. And that's the problem. That's the problem. They won't say the same thing for me. They won't back whatever I might want to do. They won't amplify anything that I might want to do politically to advance our justice claim, to advance our lineage and our heritage. They won't back me, but I'll back them. Go ahead, Brother Rob. I'm ready, fam. Go ahead. Brother Rob's the last caller, fam. I appreciate y'all's patience. I know this one's gone on for a minute, fam. Brother Rob, what's good with it?
Yeah, what's going on, good brother Mark, man? How you doing this evening,
fam, bro? I'm living the dream, man. I'm talking to my people, and we getting some real hardcore conversation in tonight. It couldn't be better.
Yeah, man. I was listening, and election season is always the season when we start talking about being politically active as a community. And so, a lot of ideas and things get thrown around, but it never gets any traction. Mm-hmm. And so, that's where I wanted to, that's why I was so compelled to call in tonight. I wanted to make sure that, because it seems like you are politically savvy. And so I just wanted to make sure that we're not assuming that the general public understands how possible it is and how easy it is to get a PAC going, mm-hmm. to get a candidate our liking and that comes out of our grassroots, like because of the political arena right now. Just to put that out there, you've been alluding to it as you've been speaking. The two-party system has never been a friend to black folks in the history of this country.
Yeah,
I just want to
that's
make sure that I
facts.
say that out loud. Right. And so what we have to do as a people is understand, and I put it in the chat, that power will not concede anything without a demand.
Shout
And
out to Frederick
that being said,
Douglass.
yes, sir.
It never
Yes, sir.
has. What did he say, fam? It never has, and it never will.
And it never will. And it never will. You know what I mean? And so he understood what we was up against. Our ancestors from, the civil rights movement, Brown versus Board of Education, they knew what we were up against.
Mm-hmm.
Our problem now is that we're in this political fight, political war, social war, and we don't really truly know who the enemy is.
I agree.
We in this political fight, in this political war, and don't really know who the enemy is.
But you know what though, Brother Rob? One thing I can say to her credit, and to his credit too as well, to Yvette and Antonio, to their credit, they have made it easy for us to know who our enemies are. Let me explain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our goal, politically, economically, socially, the whole 9 yards in this country is one. It's just one political piece of advocacy. And that goal is to press home the final payment of the debt that's due our ancestors and us that walk in their shoes, that stand in their stead. That is it, and that is all. For the first time in the United States of America, we as a polity, right, as a political bloc, have the potential to be single issue advocates. So that makes things easier, because who is your political enemy? Anybody that stands against that, whether D or R, whether liberal or conservative, whether a socialist or alt-right. That makes it easy, fam. They gave us the lens to be able to view this thing. This is why, again, I have no disrespect toward them, because I am grateful to them for helping me to get this lens to be able to frame properly just who the fuck our enemies are. If you look at what our goal is, right, what the ultimate end game for our people is, then that tells you everything you need to know about who our enemies are. Anybody that stands against that end game, fuck them. Fire, shade, and smoke.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. And so maybe just to, kind of go deeper into my point, not necessarily who the enemy is, but it's been convoluted what our end goal is. And the end goal was always to direct resources to our community so that we could be self-advocates for ourselves.
Yes.
And not have to depend on anybody else. That's what our ancestors wanted fresh out of slavery. That's what they wanted going into the 1900s. That's what they wanted after the Great Depression, after World War II. I mean, it's been the same thing.
The same
and at this point,
damn thing.
Yes. And at this point, because I would say some of our people, right, have done marginally well, and they got neighbors who, their kids play together nice and all that, because they've kind of acquiesced a little too much to the system. The lines are blurred.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
Yeah, and I just feel like we should just take it back to 101. I think that sometimes people misunderstand the potential that we got right now.
Yeah.
They are politically weak on both sides. So now would be a perfect time for a demand.
I would agree.
A perfect time.
I would
You
agree.
know,
And a demand directed at America, not at the Democrats.
mhm.
Look, our justice claim is not a progressive program. If it was progressive, it would have been done a long damn time ago. It's not a conservative
Exactly.
program. No political ideology is going to cover the restitution that's needed for us. What's going to cover that is a new story, a new narrative. And we have to be framing that narrative. We have to be pushing that narrative. And we have to be willing to give and do anything to see that narrative become the leader. I don't want, look, I don't want to boss this thing, Brother Rob. I hope you understand that,
Mm-hmm.
fam. I don't want to boss nothing, right? I can barely boss my
Mm-hmm.
household, okay? Right? I don't want to boss nothing, right? What I
Right.
want
Right.
is to be putting my efforts and resources behind a leader that cannot fail me, that cannot be bought, that cannot be corrupted. And you know, we actually have a leader that we can put our resources, our time, our energy, our efforts behind right now that
Mm-hmm.
meets all of those parameters. And you know who that leader is? That leader is our lineage and our justice claim.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can't kill who we came from. We are the descendants
Right.
of the enslaved here in the United States. You can't kill that. You can't
Mm-hmm.
assassinate that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't corrupt it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't catch it in a trick bag. You can't do nothing to it. We are who we are. We come from who we come
Mm-hmm.
from. And you cannot corrupt
Mm-hmm.
our justice claim. You can't assassinate it. You can't kill it. You
Mm-hmm.
can't buy it. You can only help us to give it birth. Because we're going
Man,
to
I
have
would.
it. And we're either going to do it with you or without you.
Yes, I would. I would double down on that and add on to the narrative part of it. They have co-opted the idea of the civil rights movement. Someone espoused today that the civil rights movement was about integration, and I had to, help them out.
No, I
No,
appreciate
that's
you,
not
fam,
what it
because
was.
let me tell you something. Our ancestors knew what was up. Everybody talk about Brown versus Board education was about school integration. No, it wasn't. Brown v. Board was about devoting resources to black schools equal to the resources that white schools was getting. This is not to say that I'm pro segregation. You don't have to be pro segregation. But if segregation is the order of the day, we need equity.
Mm-hmm.
That was what our
Mm-hmm.
ancestors' struggle in this country has always been about. They fool us with this idea of equality. We don't look. I don't care if white folks want to live with us or don't want to live with us. I don't care if black people want to
Mm-hmm.
live with white folks or don't want to live with white folks. None of this shit matters to me, right?
Exactly.
I don't care if you want to eat at their restaurants or you just want to eat with black folks. I don't care, right? What matters is equity. We have already paid the price for our share of the equity of this country that we have not received. Our ancestors knew it, and now it is our time to understand it and to fight accordingly. It is about equity of resources, period. And then what we do with it after that is up to us. It kills me how people say, well, if you give niggas reparations, the stock in Cadillac and KFC will go through the roof. So what?
Right.
We
Right.
Americans
Right.
too. If we want to spend our money on KFC and rims, that's our business. Don't nobody in this country have to answer for what the fuck they spend their resources, their time, their efforts, their money supporting or backing. Equity means that we are just as American as everybody else, that we can do whatever the fuck we want because we have the resources to do it just like everybody else. And until that's
Right.
done, then
Mm-hmm.
we got work to do. That's our fight. It's the fight for parity, for equity. I could care less
Right.
if white
And
folks
they-
want to live with us or not, or if they'll eat with us or dance with us, or who cares? If they have their own television
Yeah.
shows and this, that, I don't care. Long as I can have my own television shows and shit, I don't give a fuck.
Right. The issue is always going to come back to, and it's an economic term, but it's a social term as well. Intrinsic versus extrinsic value. We definitely have to build on our intrinsic value on each other.
Yeah.
See the greatness in one another. Man, it's so disheartening to hear how much we hate each other every day. We talk about it so eloquently.
I don't think
How
we hate
much
each
we
other, fam. What I think is I don't think
yeah,
we know how to love each other. There's a difference, right? Because
yeah, yeah.
hate and love are very similar, right? Like if you look at how
Mm-hmm,
we interact with each other, we act like we love each other, right? Except that
mm-hmm,
it's negative, right? Because when you hate somebody, they always running through your mind. You always wondering what they up to, what they doing, right? You
mm-hmm.
have an interest
Always
in their
plotting.
life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When you hate somebody,
Mm-hmm,
right? You have all the same elements in you directed toward them as you do when you love them, except that you're looking to see them diminished rather than
yeah.
uplifted, right? So I don't think it's that we
Mm-hmm,
hate each other. I just think that we have yet to understand how this message helps us to love each other, right? We are not a lost people. We have a homeland. It's America. This is our home. We are not a lost African tribe with no place to stand under the sun. Yes, we do. Now, do we have to fight for it? Yeah, we've had to fight for it ever since we've been here. But this is our home. Our lineage is the people were the enslaved here in the United States. So we're not broken. We're not. I mean, we got traumas, we got issues and shit, but the healing is here. The healing is here. The understanding that lets us learn to love each other, right? To direct that same energy that we point at each other, but with a willingness to help uplift, to help grow, to see get better. That's what I think that this thing has the greatest potential to do. I never looked at ADOS, right? ADOS as just a
mm-hmm,
political thing. It was never just about politics to me. The most important thing that Yvette ever said was claim the name. Claim your lineage, claim your heritage, claim your tribe, claim your people. That right there is going to make possible everything else we seek to do. But if we don't have that, nothing else we seek to do will be successful.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I agree, man, wholeheartedly. And yeah, and man, thank you for that, man. I was not looking at it from that point of view. You know, I just think that we definitely, like you said earlier, we have to control the narrative.
Yep.
You know, myself personally, and then the people that I'm around, I definitely try to keep that vibe, man. That we gotta look to each other for the answer.
That's
If the
right.
answer to our problem, if the answer to our problem lay outside of us,
Nope.
in my mind, we still got a problem.
Let me tell you
You
something,
know?
fam. You're the savior I've been waiting for, and I'm the savior you've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
That's real talk. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to save you, fam, and you're here to save me. You're my tribesman,
Yeah.
bruh. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can't ask me for that I shouldn't find some fucking kind of way to make it happen if I'm able to do. Right? And so on and so forth, right? And vice versa. That's what's going to save us. Look, if we can cleave to the lineage, if we can cleave to our heritage, if we can honor our ancestors, if we can be proud of the people we descend from, if we can claim America as our homeland and everything else that we need to do, fam, to address our issues is just a mop up operation.
Yes, sir.
We can figure that out.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But if
Man,
we
that's
don't
that
do
dead
if we
right
don't
there.
do that though, fam, we're cooked. That's what's been killing
Mm.
us up to now, fam, is that we've been everything but a tribe. That's what's real. If you want to know the truth, that's been the failure of every black movement prior to us, is that we have never been a tribe before. We have never looked at lineage the way we look at it now. And does that have political ramifications like hashtag ADOS says? Yes, it does, right? And I can see why
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
we would get involved more in politics and stuff like that, when we claim the name. Does it have economic ramifications? Yes, it does, right? It means that all things being equal, my tribesmen come first. We don't need necessarily unanimity, right? We're going to sometimes disagree. But the thing of the fact of the matter is my tribesmen before anybody else, before anything else. You feel me? So yes, I think that the most profound thing, I wish you would harp on that until the cows come home and keep beating that drum until it gets through our thick ass skulls. Claim the name, claim the name, claim the name. That's the most important thing. If we're not doing that, nothing else we set out to do will be successful. Nothing. Nothing.
100% agree. 100% agree. We find ways to.
Bro, Rob, can I eat now, fam? I'm tired, man.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man. I know
I love you, fam. Trust me. If I
it.
had the energy, man, I could chop with my peoples until the sun rises up the next day. And one day, when we got our due, I'm gonna organize a big ass convention, and we just go sit there and just talk shit all day. Okay, you feel me? Because we need that. That's us. That's us as a tribe. We love to talk to each other. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said, fam, it's not hatred. We just forgot how to love each other is all. That's all it is, fam. And with claiming the name, that love will come back. That pride, that respect, that grace that we need to show each other will come back. I promise you.
Yeah, no doubt. I believe in the redeeming quality of our people, and I believe that if we just keep on pushing, like you said, and identify each other as sister and brother one time, bro.
Yep.
One time. We gonna be all good.
We gonna be all right.
We gonna be all good.
We gonna be all right.
I believe it, man.
We gonna be all right. That's facts.
Yes, sir.
Love you, fam. Sir. Hey, thank you for your contribution to the broadcast tonight, brother. Peace to you.
All right, peace to you, brother.
Fam, great call. Yeah, fam, claim the name. If you still on the fence, and I don't know how after all of the advocacy and education surrounding it, but if you're still on the fence about, well, I ain't identifying as no slave. Nobody's asking you to identify as a slave. Our ancestors wasn't slaves. They were enslaved. Enslavement is a process. Slave is a person. Our ancestors resisted. They fought. They broke hoes. They dismantled whips. They busted cotton gins. They burned down motherfucking silos. They fought overseers. They punched slave masters. They were not slaves. Nobody's asking you to claim the title of slave. I'm asking you to claim the name of your ancestors, the enslaved ones that you descend from, and claim that shit with pride. Because once you do that, you know who our enemies are. You know what our job is. You know what we need to be focused on, and the whole 9 yards. Once you've claimed the name, fam, nobody's got to tell you shit. Not your brother Mark Black. Not Yvette and Tone, not nobody. See, I don't even think they understood the power in claiming that name. Yvette spoke on it at the conference. She said, I'm not lost anymore. She said, I'm not a lost soul wandering the earth with no place to stand. I know who I am. I know who I come from. I know where my homeland is and where I'm from. I know the soil on which I have a right to stand with my head held up in my place under the sun. Most powerful shit she ever said. It will trump anything else she says before or after. We can disagree about political strategies. We can disagree about this, that, and the third. Our tie together as tribes people does not require unanimity. But it does require that all other things being equal, you come first. In my eyes, your brother Mark Black, the one who loves you, you come first. You come before Bernie Sanders. You come before Donald Trump. You come before Mike Bloomberg. You come before Marianne Williamson. You come before everybody. If it don't benefit you, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. There ain't nothing they can say to me. If it ain't about pressing home your justice claim, miss me. I don't care about climate change. I don't give a fuck about no motherfucking Green New Deals. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about free health care. I don't care about Medicare for all. It sounds good. But what you doing for me and my people directly, specifically, tangibly, to bring about parity and equity for the remediation, the restoration, and the repair of our people. If you're not talking that, you don't speak my language. That's what the power of claiming the name will do for you. So fam, thank you all. Thank you all. To the people that agree with me, thank you. To the people who don't agree with me, thank you. I love you. Period. I don't give a damn if we don't agree on everything. I don't care if you in your feels right now, you want to cancel your brother. If you need to do that for your mental health, you go right ahead. But some truths needed to be fucking told tonight. So I'm glad I had an opportunity to do that. Fam, Saturday, and I should be fine Saturday, so stall me out. But Saturday, we're going to talk. I think Saturday, we're going to talk more about the PAC thing. Brother Rob was right. I think I need to educate more as to the potential of a PAC and so on and so forth. So we'll talk more about that this Saturday or whatever. But I'm gonna start moving away from more political, subjects. That was one thing that Monday kind of turned it for me. Yvette's broadcast kind of turned it for me. It's not that I'm against politics, not at all, not at all. But I believe that if you got people who are our tribes people telling us basically, fuck you, we're not supporting you, you know what I'm saying? And it's something political. And they want to be the arbiters of what is proper politics and shit like that. It might be time for us to take a different tack. We need to start talking about claiming our name, but from different aspects of that. Because remember, claiming the name gives us power across all the areas of people activity, not just politics. So I still am going to talk about politics, fam, but I'm also going to start moving towards other subjects too. We're going to talk about psychology. We're going to talk about families. We're going to talk about economics. We're going to talk about the legal system. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other shit too as well. Family, I love you. Thank you again, as always. Thank you to Sister Monty for the super chat, Miss Denny, Sister Toolbox, Brother D. Will. For those of you who hit me via Cash App, I don't know who you are as yet, but thank you in advance. If you hit my PayPal, thank you in advance for that, fam. I appreciate your love, your support. Join the Patreon. Smash the thumbs. If you haven't done so, become an angry black sheep. And until the next time I speak with you, fam, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.